Welcome to Infinite Slop. Today we're going to be talking about an exquisite piece of cinema. Green Street, or I believe it is known in the US, Green Street Hooligans.
It's got like a lot of different names.
It's got a lot of names like GSE, Stand Your Ground, Green
the
Street.
weird Italian one that we saw, like it was like an Italian rip, but it had like the English audio and it just said Hooligans.
Just Hooligans.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, that makes more sense, like as a foreign
Green
title.
Street, you're like, Green Street, cool,
Yeah,
what's
what's
that?
Green Street?
Americans need to be like, hooligans, man. Those guys are crazy. So, a very brief synopsis from the IMDb. A wrongfully expelled Harvard undergrad moves to London, where he is introduced to the violent underworld of football hooliganism. Sorry, not very good reading there.
But yeah, put a little bit more spice in it, please.
A wrongfully expelled Harvard undergrad moves to London, where he's introduced to the violent underworld of football hooliganism. This movie is about...
Oh, that's the whole synopsis?
That's the whole synopsis from IMDb.
Wow.
This is about Frodo, Elijah Wood. He's kicked out of fucking Harvard.
My name is Matt Buckner. Last spring I got kicked out of Harvard 2 months shy of my diploma. But what I was about to learn, no Ivy League school in the world could teach me.
And he moves to London and almost instantaneously becomes a football hooligan.
Yeah,
which is what happens when you move to London.
Like a football fan for his like whole life. He acts like literally like he was like born and bred like a West Ham United fan. Like his whole family are West Ham United fans. Like he's fucking ready to die for West Ham United. It's really odd.
Right, so basically we've got Matt fucking Buckner and he's been kicked out of Harvard. It wasn't his fucking fault. But he takes the rap for his like douchebag, his stereotypical douchebag roommate, Jeremy Van Helden. He's just very like, he's important. He's
His dad's
family.
in politics.
My dad's in politics. Come on,
My
man.
fucking dad.
Come on, man. Yeah, my dad is definitely going to get reelected. When I graduate, I'll totally hook you up. Thanks, bro.
And there's that one of those scenes where, you know, in a movie where they give someone the money for something and they're like, I don't want your fucking money. And I was talking about this with Tara, like, every time I've ever seen one of those films, I've been like, a fucking bag of money? You joking? Mate, you could have like done some proper bad stuff to me and I would take that money.
He offers him 10 grand.
You could have like raped me and I'd be like, what you did was wrong, but I want that money. So anyway, yeah, he gets kicked out of Harvard and he flies to London. I think he does take the money then. He flies to London and he gets there. And we've seen just before this, we've seen this West Ham and Tottenham football hooligan firms have a huge fight.
Scene. And immediately... Like being hit by like a train or something, you're just hit with this like crazy accent.
I think you should get on the next train and fuck off out of here. Before something bad happens.
Charlie Hunnam in real life is I believe Geordie. He's from Newcastle. And yeah, I mean the strange thing is he's actually quite good in the film apart from the accent. Like he looks the part. He's kind of embodies it quite well.
He's
likable. He's good looking and stuff. And then the accent, and he seems to have no idea how bad it is.
No.
Like,
How are we? My colonial cousin.
And for fuck's sake, stop saying soccer.
I think he probably was just around other Geordies who were like, "Here, sounds proper, mate. You sound like a right Cockney twat."
These boys don't know about your old man. And if I was you, I'd keep it that way. They say we kind of lost our way when he left. My boys are bringing the old GSE reputation right back.
I think the striking thing about the accent is the confidence with which he sells it.
But like that, I think makes it better.
It improves it.
Yeah.
You can kind of somehow believe him, even though it's absurd.
What was you studying? Before this geezer stitched you up.
So we see this massive brawl. And it's incredibly violent. It's a mixture of incredibly violent, like guys having their heads like smashed onto like metal bollards.
Yeah, like a scene. Like honestly, it looks like it's very brief, but it does look like a scene out of like Hostel or something.
Yeah.
Like then you've got like one guy lifting up like a bin in a really silly, like almost sort of like I don't know, like King Kong cartoon kind of way, and. There's a lot of stuff like that. A lot of just like juxtapositions of violence.
They've knocked over and it's a London phone booth, a red phone booth, because this is London, right? So yeah, then Matt Buckner arrives in London. He meets his sister Shannon, who's she's now married to a guy in London. And when he arrives, he coincidentally arrives at the exact same station that this fight took place at the night before.
Was there a terrorist attack? What happened here?
Oh, welcome to Match Day Madness. Tottenham was in town last night.
Are you a soccer fan now?
Oh, don't let them hear you say the word soccer.
Who's them?
British Empire.
And then she introduces Matt to her baby, who is his nephew, who he's never met before. She introduces Matt to the baby, and he looks at him for about a second and goes, "Oh, he's adorable," and then just That's it. He like never interacts with him again.
Yeah.
Uncle Matt, meet Ben. Can you believe that?
Hey there, little guy. He's adorable.
Yeah.
He's not like my nephew. Like I've never met you before. You're my only nephew.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You know, I just want to focus on you. I can speak to my sister on the phone. I can never, you know, you're a baby. And he's just like, he's adorable. Anyway.
This baby being treated like just like shit is kind of a recurrent
Yes,
theme throughout this
he's
film.
tough.
Like the I don't know, like these are not good like parents or families around this baby.
It's not the baby's fault you gave him a comb over. Like,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it for some reason he's balding at the age of like 2. He looks like Henry VIII or something. But like, he's not the most charming, cute baby.
No.
He's quite serious as well.
Yeah, he is quite serious.
But not an intelligent seriousness. So anyway, then Matt goes back to Shannon's house and meets Shannon's husband, he's like a Cockney guy. He's quite serious. He obviously works in the city. He's got a bit of money and whatever. And he's like, "You're right, mate. Yeah, I'm Shannon's husband. Look, I need you to clear off for the night. All right, I've got tickets planned." And it's like, he's come from fucking America.
Yeah.
He's your brother-in-law. You never met him before. Why is everyone so flippant about family?
Yeah.
You're weird. And he's like, "I've got tickets to go see Chicago at the West End." It's like, that's not that important. Like, it's just tickets to see Chicago. Grow up, really. So anyway, we meet him, and his name is...
The baby?
What is the baby's name? I can't remember.
No.
They don't care about him enough to give him a
No.
name. They're just like, baby. So we meet Shannon's husband. Is his name Tommy? No, Tommy. No, that's not Tommy. Shannon's husband. We meet Shannon's husband. He's played by Paul Bettany. Anyway, I think he's played by Paul Bettany. We don't know anything about anything. He might not be Paul Bettany at all. I might be mixing up my actors. I think I am.
He's quite good though.
He's
I mean,
good. He's
I don't
in
know
quite a
who
lot
I
of
don't know who
stuff.
Paul Bettany is, but I mean this guy.
He's in quite a lot of stuff. He's generally quite good. And he's
This
one of
guy,
those-
Paul Bettany, question mark.
Anyway, then this is where we, as the main characters in the film, where Pete is kind of introduced. We've seen Pete earlier on in this fight, Charlie Hunnam's character, but this is where he's introduced, and he immediately has an incredibly over-the-top introduction.
Yes.
To let us know that Pete is a real lad.
Yep.
So we hear like bang, 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 bang on the door, and you're like, oh my God, someone's really thumping on that door. And Shannon's husband goes and opens it, and it's revealed, oh, this is actually her brother. Pete is her brother. And
Wait, what?
Pete is his brother, beg your pardon. It would help if we knew his name. That character's brother, Shannon's husband's brother.
Shannon's hubby.
Shannon's hubby.
Yeah.
Hubby. It's hubby's brother. Pete is hubby's brother. And Pete immediately, he's like causing a ruckus, he's a real lad. And he's like,
He grabs
bruv.
a beer and he like opens the beer
Yeah.
with his teeth, and you're
Yeah, he's
like,
like,
whoa,
He's
this
so
is
cool.
a tough, cool guy.
And he sees Frodo and he's like, you're all right, Shannon, you look rough.
Jesus, Shannon, you look rough.
You're a funny guy, Pete. Matt, this is Pete, Steve's brother.
He's laying it on a bit thick. He is being quite cool, but he's laying it on a bit thick. He's like swaggering through the house. There's a baby there, and it's like, mate, there's a baby there. Why are you swaggering around like that?
he's like grabbing the baby's hand and he's like, I'm West Ham till I
West
die.
Ham till I die.
Yeah.
I'm West Ham till I die. I'm West Ham till I die. I know I am. I'm sure I am.
And he's like doing chants about it. He's like, get some drinks in.
Get some drinks in. Get some drinks in.
Up. Just shut up.
And again, they get confused about how they present Pete, because at times he's like a fucking moronic lager lout who just can't stop shouting and like banging things and like opening beers with his mouth. And then they're trying to be like, Pete's actually really intelligent and he works as a school teacher and he's a really nice, mild-mannered guy.
I teach history. You teach? Yes. Cheeky slag. History and PE. I'm smart as fuck.
When you had the reveal that he's actually like a secondary school history teacher, history and PE, like it's just confusing. He doesn't seem, because you get like cool teachers. I guess it's meant to be like, yeah, even Cockney people can be smart.
Even these football hooligans, you think they're all fucking morons, and you might have actually seen documentaries about them and seen they are in fact all fucking morons, but some of them are actually really smart.
And they also, like, for no reason, they just, like, shove in this one scene, like, in the middle of the film where, like, one of the main hooligans that's on, like, Petey's, like, group, his firm, he's, like, a pilot.
Yeah,
and he's, like, on the phone with them, and they're, like, arranging to go to this fight, and he's in, like, his full pilot gear. Like, he's got the pilot hat, and he's got, like, the little, like, the badges and stuff like that. Like, they really wanted us to know that, like, hey, football hooligans can be pilots, they can be history teachers.
It comes from there's an 80s football hooliganism film called The Firm with Gary Oldman, and previous depictions of football hooligans were they're all unemployed lager louts and stuff. And The Firm showed Gary Oldman, he's actually quite a well-to-do, upwardly mobile guy, and he's got a wife and quite a nice place and a corporate job, and lots of the boys in his firm actually have jobs and stuff. And this was seen as something of a revelation, even though it was just a movie, but it was seen as something of a revelation. And I think some of it was partially based in truth, that like, I think there was a lot of economic growth at the time, and also because the 80s were fucking violent as fuck at football. So you had a combination of people who were like sort of thugs were able to actually get quite good jobs, and B, people who had quite good jobs were like more likely to be involved in football violence because there was so much football violence, and it was just more widespread. So that became like then a kind of trope in football hooligan content. Like, these guys actually have really good jobs, mate. Some of them, you wouldn't believe it. You'd think you wouldn't
really
think
know
it.
Stuff.
So Pete comes in and basically he's introduced to Matt, and there's a lot of stuff about how Shannon and Shannon's husband are very wary of football hooliganism, and they're very bothered about Pete's lifestyle, and they're very keen to be away from football hooliganism, and Shannon is very serious about this. But then at the same time, so that they can go and watch Chicago, they send Matt off to watch the football with Pete.
There's a big game on as well.
He's the leader of the West Ham firm.
Yes.
He's the top boy in probably the biggest firm. Mm-hmm. And they go, yeah, you go with him and go and watch the football.
I'll give you 100 if you take Matt here to the match.
Oh, fuck off. You're having a bubble. Bruv, you know I can't take a yank to football.
Yeah, you can. And you're going to be on your best behaviour, do you understand?
And here's 100 quid for beer. It's like the most dangerous thing you could do to your like nerdy American relatives.
Really soft, like Harvard dropout.
Really soft. And he's like, here, Pete, behave yourself. Here's 100 quid. Take Matt to the football and be nice. It's like, what? He's clearly an out of control person. He's a football hooligan. Why don't you just go, right, Matt, here's 50 for you. Go and fucking watch a movie at the cinema. Go out to eat somewhere. And Pete, here's 50 for you. Just stay the fuck away from Matt. Yeah, I mean, there's a few quotes here. So I think
we get some of my favourite dialogue in the film.
Yeah,
during this first meet.
Basically, because a lot of time I was writing notes in this film, but so many of my notes were just quotes from Pete, and I thought, I'm just going to read some of them, and then we'll play the clips.
Yeah,
you know. So we have these are some of my personal favourites. Almost everything he says is ridiculous, but some personal favourites. Upon meeting Matt, he says, "Arari, my colonial cousin."
Arari, my colonial cousin.
And then we've got there's a lot of stuff about Cockney rhyming slang. They were very keen to show how authentic the film was by putting in a lot of Cockney rhyming slang and explaining it a lot for the benefit of the viewers. That's what Cockneys do.
Yeah.
I'll go to football, and you can have a wander around where Churchill took a Tom, or whatever it is that you Yanks do in jolly old.
A Tom?
Tom. A tom tit. Shit. It's rhyming slang.
It's rhyming slang.
Yeah, it's rhyming slang.
Rhyming. He somehow makes it northern.
It's rhyming slang.
He's like, it's rhyming slang. It's just so weird. And then we've got, when him and Matt almost have their fight, we've got, I will kick the shit out of you.
And I will kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, the Tom out of me, I get it.
When we're introduced to the gang, it's like a competition to see who can be the most like bizarrely Cockney. One of them, his thing is kind of like, nah, mate, I'm Cockney, and like he gets very like, and again, they get very sort of effeminate, like, I'm fucking Cockney, mate. I'm so Cockney. I'm actually gay. Like they just get very like, it's very weird. They try a lot of effort, or it's like, I'm smoking a fag, I'm so fucking Cockney, I can't even look at you. Like, it's like, you can just have a Cockney accent.
What's bother?
He's been to the toilet for about 15 minutes, like Dodgy Ruby or something down in Bengal last night.
Oh, look, he looks lost. No, Ruby Murray, mate, means curry. We call it Cockney rhyming slang.
Slang, yeah, like bees and honey for money.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Struggle and grunt for cunt.
Oh, you went dark.
Why'd you go there?
I like a cunt.
That septic tank. For Yank.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't mean like an alien.
They're like contorting from
Yeah,
Cockneys. Yeah, it's like being an alien. It's like they're aliens. Like there's all different variants of like Cockney aliens, apart from Pete, who's just like bizarre and northern.
He's just like, I don't know,
It's
an
rhyming
Australian
slang.
person that's had a
Yeah,
an Aussie who's had a stroke.
Rhyming slang he's like, it's rhyming
Yeah.
slang. And then another one of my favourites, and for fuck's sake, stop calling it bloody soccer.
And for fuck's sake, stop saying soccer.
For fuck's sake, he says, and for fuck's sake, stop calling it bloody soccer.
He gets like sometimes a bit oddly European with
And then
it.
another one of my favourites, when he finds out, I think that either that Matt studied journalism, he's like, you studied journalism? And he's like, and if I was you, I'd keep that quiet.
These boys don't know about you, old man. And if I was you, I'd keep it that way.
Basically, Pete is the movie.
Yeah.
The movie is all about Pete and his accent, and really that is the predominant thing. It is quite a charismatic performance. Like, he's quite good, and he draws your attention. That's the problem, because he's got so much swagger.
And because
he draws your attention.
Because he plays it with like pure 100% confidence. It's like someone's made you like a not very nice food.
And they slide it across the table, and they're like,
No, more that they're like really, like choo choo, here comes the train, and you're just there like and you have to take it because they're like so confident in the administering of this nasty little bite to you. Yeah.
Okay.
But then they're like, isn't that delicious? Isn't that really,
like,
really nice? And you're like, and they're like, we're gonna have another one now. Choo choo.
And he's like, and if I was you, I'd keep that quiet. And you're like, delicious, thanks.
Yeah. He kind of talks like he's having like the nasty bite.
Yeah, and because he's like the tallest and best looking person in the film, and he's got the best dress. He's got all these cool Stone Island jackets. He's got his awesome like beige coat on. So it's like the film is hyper focused on him.
Like,
and
you're like, you know, like girls want to be with him,
guys
men want to be him.
And when
like,
we were kids, we were like, oh, Pete's so cool.
Everything revolves around Pete. Like, he is the main character.
Yeah. And
if you changed the film and you put, I think, any other actor in his, like any other like normal actor in his role, I think this film would just sort of like
nothing,
disappeared into nothingness.
Yeah.
But it really is like, so I was thinking of this earlier, like his accent is like, if you just look at it as like a film, it is the worst thing about the film, but it is also the best thing about the film. It's the reason why it's such an enjoyable watch.
I will say the film, I believe, also needed Frodo.
Yeah.
And again, Frodo it's ridiculous that he's in it. And it's also it's like the second best thing about the film. It's basically Pete's accent, Frodo.
When during his Frodo timeline was this?
Was post Lord.
But like, was it quite like soon afterwards, or was it like the Frodo hype still?
I think Frodo, like he recovered from Lord quite well. So I think this was a bit after, but he'd done stuff before Lord as well. We're calling it Lord now.
Okay.
You know, that's we've started that as a thing.
Yeah, we have. Apparently,
he did some stuff before that, and he did quite a lot after. I think it was like after like Sin City, he was a villain in that, and that was after Lord. And we were like, did you see Frodo in Sin City? He was a villain. And then we're like, did you see Frodo in Green Street? He was a football hooligan.
But he is just, I don't know about you guys, but like if I see him, I'm just like Frodo.
I mean, I call him that because it's funny, but like I can see him as other stuff.
Nah, I can't accept him as anything else apart from Frodo.
I fully accept him as Matt Buckner. I just accept him as a ridiculous character.
No, I'm like, this is sort of like an alternate universe like version of Frodo, because he's not like, if you think about it, he's not that far removed from Frodo in this. Like, in terms of like the personality and the sort of like looking at everyone with like big, beautiful baby blue eyes.
Yeah.
It's just sort of acting like a sort of like, at times like at times he's like a sort of scared rabbit, but then
like
other times he's like tough.
He's like a eunuch angel kind of thing. He's like, what? Are we going to get in a fight today, Pete? And Pete's like, come on, mate. There's a weird gay vibe between us, and it seems like I want to fuck you.
You two joined at the fucking hip or what?
Leave it there, Bob. It's getting old.
Nah, I'm starting to wonder about you two. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you was a couple of gay boys.
Pete does things for Frodo that you would only do for a woman who you really enjoyed fucking. Like, because he moves Frodo in after like a day of knowing him.
Yeah.
I don't want you to stay with Pete.
Well, I want to stay with Pete.
And all his entire life is falling apart because he's obsessed with Frodo.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what are we doing with this yank? And he's like, oi, leave him alone, he's one of us.
Trying to get anything. You shut up!
And then, like, he's like, don't worry, Frodo, I'll look after you, son.
Fuck off, you're not missing the game. You're the one who wanted to learn about soccer.
He's always protecting him and like keeping him safe.
And there's a
it's
lot of
like, does
stuff
Frodo
like-
have like the best pussy ever? Like, what's going on here?
There's a lot of stuff as well where he's like, I need you to stay here. I get it. That's so much better than his accent.
Yeah, he's like, it's not safe for you, Frodo.
Listen to me. It's time to go home.
Frodo's like, come on, Pete, take me with you.
And he like sneaks, like he basically like sneaks onto a train to be with him.
I want to be with you.
No offense, mate, but we can't take passengers on this trip, all right? Go on, piss off. I'll give you a bill later.
You taking a piss or what?
What are you doing here, man?
Oh, ain't that sweet?
So anyway, basically, we're then at the pub. We're introduced to all his friends, and we're introduced to Bother.
Where's Bother?
He's been to the toilet for about 15 minutes, like Dodgy Ruby or something down in Bengal last night.
Oh, look, he looks lost. No, Ruby Murray mate means curry. We call it Cockney rhyming slang.
Slang, yeah, like bees and honey for money.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Struggling grunt for cunt.
A septic tank for yank.
Hello.
Leo Greg, well, if you've seen our goal-free review,
The first video on the
first
channel.
Infinite Slop, Leo Gregory is actually really good in.
He is genuinely a very good actor.
In proper roles. He's not good in goal-free because look what he had to fucking work with
Yeah.
in goal-free. One of the worst, most miscast actors I've ever seen in a film. Bizarre.
And what's similar between this film and Goal 3 is that Leo Gregory is a pure ladies' man. Like the women can't keep their hands off
In
him.
this, I wouldn't say he's seen it as pure.
No,
ladies' man, but-
there's like a scene like one of the times where they're like happy in the pub,
Yeah.
and he's like like chatting to these birds and like wrestling around with them. You never actually see Pete like really interacting with women at all.
Well, we know why. Pete's got what he needs back at home in his flat.
Morning, sunshine. How'd you feel?
Oh, little sore.
He's got this cute little boy there, little Frodo. It's like, I've seen Lord of the Rings, and I want your pussy.
He's literally got like angel pussy.
He's like, are you gonna fuck me? Are you gonna be a football hooligan and take control of me? And Pete's like, I'll do it.
And there's a scene where he's like, he's like sort of like, like really handsy with this woman. It's getting like, like the women aren't interested in Pete.
That's true. There is one reference to Bother getting with women. He's not in Goal 3. They're like, he's the fucking fittest ladies man ever, which is really
like
odd.
sex on legs.
But in Green Street, it's different because he's a hard man. I think it's okay that he, is a bit rugged in his appearance.
Yeah.
Because he's a hard man in Green
Yeah.
Street. So it's like, ladies like football thugs, ladies who hang out at West Ham pubs anyway.
Oh yeah. Loads of like fit young birds hang out at like really rough West Ham United pubs.
Yeah. In the minds of real football hooligans, they're shagging they're like, oh, this bird, mate, you should have seen the tits on this bird. And she's like fucked up. She's like,
you
Katie
see that
Price,
with like footballers.
post-surgery.
You see that with like footballers like more back in the day, more like from when this film was set, where like there'll be just some real nasty women that they've caught like cheating on their like hot wives with.
Yeah, like with like balloon tits.
Yeah,
and
like-
stuff,
like-
and they're
like upside down salad
"Fucking hell,
bowls."
mate, you should have seen the tits on her.
Yeah.
That you could just taken 2 footballs from training and like put them in your mate's top, and you could simulate that experience. They're really, they literally.
Or maybe that's what Frodo and PT are doing.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Yeah. We're getting way off track. Look, so Bother turns up, and Bother, we're seeing like Bother's a bit of a nasty fucking cunt, and Bother turns up and he's smoking. And he's like all hunched over because he's like so cockney, and he's like, who the fuck is this then, eh? We're babysitting now. Oh,
When you're cockney, you sort of like you have like muscle spasms and you're sort of like withering away and like sort of turning inside out.
You can't just smoke. You have to be like, the cigarette has to be in your hand, and you're like,
yeah.
Who the
You have to
fuck
try
is
and see
this
how
then?
like tight your hand into your elbow you can get whilst you're smoking.
I didn't know he's fucking babysitters now then. And they're like, oh, mama! Oh, my daily!
Hey.
That's the proper right. He don't give a fuck, no, does he? He just don't give a fuck.
Mate, he's practically family.
Oh, mate, he's fucking painful.
And then Pete's like, ain't about Bother. What are you saying?
It is a little bit like when you see them all interacting with one another. It is a little bit like they all have varying levels of like brain damage.
It's a freak show. They're
Yeah,
absolute freak show. And then they've got Matt Buckner there just to further like
just
fuck
like
everything up.
blinking with like he looks like there's quite a few scenes in this film where like I guess there's the juxtaposition. There would be a level of juxtaposition anyway because you've got like these like tough like sort of like Cockney guys everywhere, and then you've got like Matt Buckner. He is meant to sort of stand out as like a sort of like soft boy, but there are scenes where he's literally like his eyes are massive. He looks like Bambi.
They're
He
like
literally
twinkling.
looks like a little like cherub.
And so Bother then, like, he's dancing around and thing, and Bother gets completely soaked in beer, like a Hooters waitress at like a wet t-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets soaked.
I
in
think
beer.
it was like so much. I think they were like probably a bit surprised by it. Like
Yes.
maybe they hadn't intended for him because this scene like
They were like,
so
right,
they're
we'll give everyone a beer. You chuck it on Bother.
Yeah.
It'll just get a little bit wet.
Yeah.
And Bother's like,
literally like he's like he's just come out of like a water park or something.
Yes.
Like they for some reason they're like for Mr. Miyagi. And like they start like jumping around throwing beer, and it's like someone has got like 4 buckets of beer.
He could not have more beer on him.
He's like maximum
Maximum soaked
hydration
in
of beer.
Well, then he goes to the toilet because we've seen he doesn't like. Oh yeah, he doesn't like Matt Buckner.
Immediately he hates Matt Buckner.
Is livid,
There's almost like a vibe of like kind of like a jilted ex.
jealous maybe that Pete's
Yeah,
got a new friend.
yeah.
But really, I would say he just probably rightfully, given the nature of what they're doing, suspicious
Yeah.
of outsiders, and he's like, why is there this weird American twink like hanging out with us?
Why is this like American cherub suddenly descended into like our football firm?
Looks like a fucking angel. He's giving me a boner over here. I'm trying to get in a scrap, and this guy's looking at me with twinkly eyes. So he goes to the toilet to like sort of intimidate
And
Matt
this is
Buckner.
the next scene.
This is the
Immediately
next scene.
after following the super soaker
Bone
beer
dry.
incident.
Just bone dry.
Literally, like not even. And Leo Gregory, like he does at the best of times look a bit dry and dehydrated
Yes.
anyway. And he comes into the room literally like there's not
Do you know
an atom of moisture
That's
on him.
probably why Matt Buckner was so intimidated. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's just like, what the fuck? Is this guy like a demigod? Like, how is he bone dry? This guy's a sorcerer. He's just like probably really intimidated by that. He comes in, he's confronting him. He's like, I don't like fucking Yanks in my neck of the woods or whatever. And he's bone dry.
We don't like outsiders. What?
Yeah, and similar to Pete's over the top, there's a lot of very over the top like Cockney thug behaviour. Bother does an incredibly over the top piss to let you know,
Yeah.
like, I'm a fucking geezer. I'll piss all over.
It's
I'm
like
leaning into my own
like
piss.
a caricature. Like if you were trying to do the most absurdly like masculine piss, like his legs are like spread apart like a racehorse.
My dick's tiring me out. Fucking hell,
Like
I've got a piss of beer.
like he might as well have like his hands in the back of his head. Like he's
Yeah.
kind of acting like he's getting like sucked off or something.
Oh, I'm pissing in front of you, son. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's like you can just go for a piss. You know? And we see it with Pete as well. When Pete, I forgot about this, but when Pete walks to the pub with Matt,
Oh my God.
he starts walking with so much swagger. The closer he gets to the pub, the more swagger he's walking with. And by the time they arrive at the pub, he is literally walking like a chimpanzee. Then anyway, they decide Matt's going to go to the match with them. And as they go into the match, they all start covering themselves in extremely cartoonish ways that you think the police would notice. Like Pete is like a Batman villain or something, or like a Tintin villain. He's got his like collar over his face and he looks ridiculous. And it's like the police are going to literally grab you as soon as they see that. And then there's a bit like sort of like satire. Quite a few moments in this film, they tried to be a bit like, ooh. And he goes, look out, mate. We're the most watched country in the world. And like looks at the cameras and it's like, bow, bow, wow, 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 CCTV.
And you
UK,
like see through the CCTV.
2005, London, most watched country in the world. Even the football hooligans know what's up. In fact, maybe they know what's up more than the rest of us, mate, because they're from the streets. Hang about Matt, most watched country in the world. And Matt's like, what the fuck? CCTV? And we're getting a little bit of satire about British life. And then a couple of other really good quotes come up. So we've got from a different character. Word is these lot are going to have a pop.
Don't worry, I ain't over yet, boys. Word is these twats are gonna have a pop.
And I can't remember exactly the way he says it, but it's something about the way he says pop is incredibly annoying.
So basically, at this match, Bother, for some reason, he's got split off from the group, and then you see him wearing a media vest, and he goes over to the other side. Are they Tottenham fans?
Birmingham
fans. And he goes over to the other side, and he's like in front of them, and he's being like, I don't know, he's like calling them like names.
Wankers.
Yeah, and he's like saying like, he's just like, I guess like trying to like rile them up. And then he's like, come on then. And then they're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, mate. And I'm gonna fucking get you. But then for some reason they don't actually move from the stand. Even though he's in the front and like, you know, hundreds of these like, you know, like candescent with rage football fans, they stay very neatly and like sort of uniformly in their stands.
Like, even if each one took off a shoe and threw it as hard as they could, he'd quite likely get a concussion.
Yeah, shoot to death.
Just there's so many of them there. He's so outnumbered, and for some reason they're completely foiled.
It's like a force field.
Well, it's because he's dressed like he's wearing like a high vis. It's like they're like, whoa, we can't fucking attack him.
Like there's like a tiny little like a little just like a little thing they just have to step over. Like not a full fence. It's honestly just a little thing they step over, and then they could like kill him.
And all the other lads who didn't know Bother was going to do this, they're like, fucking Bother! What?
He's crazy.
He's crazy. Bother will do anything, mate.
And immediately as well, like Matt Buckner, like he's experiencing euphoria that he's never experienced before. West Ham are scoring goals, and like he's like snuggling Petey, and he's just so excited and like about this team that he didn't know about literally like 2 hours before.
He doesn't even know what a goal is. Really.
No,
but somehow he's like, yes!
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And so they get out of the stadium after the match is over, and they're like standing next to police. Like there's a lot of police presence there, and they're really loudly and baitly just talking about how they're going to meet up. Because this is kind of how it was back when like football hooliganism was like a big problem in England. Like they would like arrange fights, and they're talking about it like as if like I was talking about like, and you're next to me.
Tom, go then, boys.
What are we standing here for? I don't understand.
Let's get him.
And the police are just like do. Like they clearly don't care.
And then also, so we've got the West Ham guys and Matt Buckner. Mm-hmm. Then we've got the police just not giving a fuck.
Yep.
Then we've got the Birmingham hooligans who are watching from the corner like, here we go, there's the GSC. And they talk really funny. For some reason, all the Birmingham firm are black.
Yeah.
Which is confusing because like, wouldn't the West Ham firm be black?
Yeah.
All the Birmingham guys are black, and they talk really weird. They're like, "What is a yank rolling with the GSC?"
Why's the young room with the GSC?
There's one of them. So he's like, "How about we give you a Chelsea grin?" Like,
ever heard of a Chelsea grin? Huh?
Oh, come on, please.
Do you take American Express?
Like I don't know
they
what.
They talk a little bit kind of like grime DJs from like
garage
DJs,
which are not from Birmingham.
No,
and
it's literally like that's like, why is a young rolling with the GSC?
Rolling with the GSC. It's really weird.
Why's the young room with the GSC?
Basically, they're like, yeah, Matt, even though this firm wants to beat us up, probably a good idea. You go home on your own. He's like, it's safer. Walk home by yourself. And Matt's walking home and he's like, oh God, dark alleyways? Should I go down the alleyway?
Literally like a rape alleyway.
Like he's literally like, ooh, what if some big strong men hurt me? And he looks down the alleyway and then immediately they're like, why is a gang rolling with the GSC? And they come and grab him and they're like, oh, I bet we give you a Chelsea grin. It's like, aren't you from Birmingham? Like, why are you doing a Chelsea grin? And it doesn't really work like that. You don't just put a credit card in someone's mouth. You have to do more than that.
I bet the Major gave out his shares of Chelsea grins back in the good old days, eh?
It is really confusing. They put the like. So I was asking you, like, what I'd heard about like a Chelsea grin is when they like cut you from for the knife, but I don't understand the credit card element of it. It's like they treat him like a little like sort of like ATM. They just
like, do you take American Express?
Like, do you take American Express?
There's a yank rolling with the GSC. Yeah.
and they just put it in there, and he's like, I mean, it looks like a bit uncomfy when they've got the little like credit card
a bit. He's like, but it's not like gonna rip his entire face open.
No.
And
do they normally put a credit card in?
I have no idea. I mean, I guess if you went and then you pull in, it would be like really. At the very least, I wouldn't like someone to put a credit card in my gob and then punch me in the balls.
Maybe we're just like really soft and like middle class. Like maybe that is actually how you do it.
Maybe it's a rite of passage for everyone other than us. Anyone who's in a lower class bracket than us. They're like, what's a yank rolling with the GSC? And they put credit cards in their mouths. So then
so it's like, oh no, beautiful boy, Matt Buckner, is about to get his like stunning cherub face cut up.
Where's Pete? Please.
And then like Pete comes along like at the last second and smacks up this gang.
We don't leave our men behind.
And they're like,
don't call him a man. Come
and
on.
suddenly
We don't leave my little sexy twink angel behind. That's my pussy. It belongs to me. And that's like,
my perfect pussy.
Thanks, Daddy.
And they get into like a big brawl. And like Matt Buckner, he's like, we should run away. There's like, because there's loads more of the other firm than there are of them. Like, there's quite a few scenes in this movie where like, there's like 6 of Petey's firm. And then they'll be like up against like, like groups of like 30, 40, 50 men.
Batter 'em.
And they just batter. They're like, these guys are like, must be like the hardest men in
They're
London.
MMA fighters, like they must be.
Yeah, literally. And then it's like it's Matt Buckner's his first fight he's ever been in, and he throws some very like sassy punches.
Yeah, he swings his arms around. He gets involved. Basically, the idea is like, it wasn't fucking perfect, but I learned how to fight that day. And that's like his
really
introduction.
cringe like talkovers
and
as
there's
well.
just a lot of like, the boys, we saved each other. Come on. And he's like introduced to the world of hooliganism, and he's like, that's when I got my first taste.
Once you've taken a few punches and realize you're not made of glass, you don't feel alive unless you're pushing yourself as far as you can go.
And now he's just like intoxicated by football hooliganism.
Yeah, almost as intoxicated as Pete is by him.
Yeah.
But Pete's like, come home with me, mate. I'm moving you into my flat.
That's
You're
when
not
they,
going anywhere.
That's it. So you got to bear in mind, like, okay, so in the first, like, what we'd assume, I mean, like a football match is what, like 90 minutes, and they're at the pub a bit before then. So we're going to assume really within the first, I would say probably like 5 hours of Matt meeting Pete. He's like, there's this one scary guy that like hates him and has threatened him a bunch. And then he's been like, we would assume he was like, his life was in like pure peril from these like random guys that were going to like cut up his face.
This bizarre Birmingham
squad. He's been in a fight in this like scary tunnel, and he's like punched a man for the first time, and like he got punched quite badly, and then he's like, this has to be my life.
Yeah,
like this
was perfect.
I can't do, like, I'm so like a moth to a flame. I cannot be anything else.
You know the best part? It isn't knowing that your friends have your back. It's knowing that you have your friends back.
And then he wakes up in Petey's flat, and he's like covered in like blankies, and he's in his underwear, which is also kind of strange. It's a strange like next.
What happened last night, Daddy? Pete's like, everything I wanted. Whatever I wanted to do to you, I done it, mate. No, that doesn't happen in the film. Let's have a quick break.
Okay.
Morning, sunshine. How'd you feel?
Oh, little sore.
Why is a young problem with a GSA?
We thought since it's Green Street, everyone's fucking doing whatever they want. They're drinking a beer in the middle of the day. Also, when Pete does that at the beginning, he's drinking a beer and they try to present Pete as quite cool and quite like a cool together chap, and he's like all fit and stuff, and it's like he's drinking a beer at like noon or something. Like,
I mean, come on now, don't completely expose yourself. He's drinking a beer at noon?
It's for breakfast. That's the behaviour of a fucking sado, like a real football hooligan. Like usually they're like fucking fat.
This film is realistic.
If you want, by the way, to watch Donal McIntyre's documentary about exposing the Chelsea football hooligans, it's one of the funniest things ever made. It's probably as good as Green Street in its own way.
There is no way I could be accepted as a hooligan without a tattoo. With one, I'd be proper Chelsea. Much to my embarrassment, I pass out on the counter. But the job had to be completed. Nothing would give me away faster than a half-finished tattoo.
It is hilarious. Like, absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
What's most striking is how fucking dumb these guys are. That they believe his like a shockingly bad undercover act. He's like the least convincing undercover journo ever.
It seems like that this was the BBC that did the
I think it was BBC, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like
Where's the young one with the GSC?
cocaine and like to
Let's be careful.
Oh
The BBC.
What is these twats are gonna have a pop?
I mean, Not that anyone really is gonna care what we're saying, but no, that was what someone said in the comments that I don't think the BBC were like, here you go, Donal.
And for fuck's sake, stop saying soccer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Which would make a lot of sense.
I'm sorry
Either
I said that.
It's fine. You didn't even actually, you said, it seems like. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of sugar.
You might think it's unprofessional, but I don't give a fuck. No, I think drinking a can of beer from the fridge in the morning is pretty insane behaviour, actually.
I mean, we don't know that's the first thing to have that day. You might have had a tasty little fry up.
He does. He has fry ups. It's like, why is he so incredibly lean?
Yeah, why is he in like fantastic shape?
Bad.
Yeah.
We never see him working out. He's just like getting into fights and drinking beer and fry ups. He doesn't drink fry ups. That would be a real problem. He's blending them. He's trying to gain weight and he's just like, I'm so fit.
So in this, so basically Matt Buckner, because he stood his ground and fought. As a reference to this, when Matt Buckner, he's really scared when he's about to be like jumped by this like Birmingham lot, and he's like, you got to stand your ground and fight.
Come on, let's get out of here. What? Well, there's 20 guys. You're done right. Not when you're with us. You stand your ground and fight.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is they're like, he's like, mate, you got to run away. You can't be here for this. You're too much of a pussy. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, no, not when you're with us, mate. You stand your ground and fight. And then it's like, he shouldn't be here. No. He's your brother's wife's brother. He's never been in a fight in his life. He's tiny. Mm-hmm. Look at his face. He shouldn't be here.
He's never been in a fight in his life.
He doesn't support West Ham. He's like, let him go home. Just tell him to run.
That's my first fight I've ever been in. It's the first punch I've ever thrown. So that happens, and because he threw those punches, they accept him now. Mm-hmm. And then you get a montage of it's like him and the boys, and Matt Buckner is accepted apart from by Bobber. Bobber fucking hates him. And then you see Matt Buckner getting a tattoo.
A West Ham tattoo on his chubby little body. He's getting a little West Ham tattoo on his tit.
And they're really trying to show that this is his life now.
And I feel that this part of the film where he becomes a successful football hooligan and is integrated is too quick. That should be 2/3 of the film.
Yeah, and it's also suddenly now he's really tough.
Yeah, and it happens, it's just there's no... Is that all the payoff and
you don't see him, he's not training or anything. No. And suddenly he's walking around and he's got gel in his hair and he looks like sort of a bad boy version of himself.
Yeah, and ladies giving some ladies his number.
I'd never lived closer to danger, but I'd never felt safer. I'd never felt more confident, and people could spot it from a mile away.
Mm.
And they don't earn this. Nothing happens. They're just now he's cool.
And also now he's also really hard apparently.
Yeah, even though he's fucking tiny.
And yeah, so he's and honestly, we touched on it a little bit, but him moving in with Pete is really odd.
In a day, he moves in after a day of knowing him.
So basically, he comes to England and he meets his sister and the nephew that he's never met before, and he's never met his sister's
doesn't give a
husband.
Fuck about his nephew.
And he goes to the football.
He sees Pete and he's like a football hooligan.
And he goes to the football. He gets involved in that punch up, and then he goes to Petey's house. And he has a fry out with him and stuff, and then he goes back to his sister to be like, I'm now moving in with Petey because we had a really great time at the football, and he's got a black eye, and his sister's like, what do you mean you're moving in with him?
I can't believe that you came all this way. You didn't even stay the night.
I'll call you from Pete.
One's questioning it?
You want to say it should be shocking to her, but then it was her and her dipshit husband who sent him off to watch the football with Pete, and it's like, there you go.
I'm going to the soccer game with Pete.
But you just got here.
I know, but I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, have a good time.
It's almost like they secretly wanted him to go down a bad path.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's they were like, oh well, we'll get rid of him by sending him off to this wrong end.
They're like, I'll introduce you to my brother. Don't get into any trouble. Wink, wink.
And so he decides to move in with Petey, and like he decides like his whole life now is West Ham and being a football hooligan within the space of 24 hours. And then we get introduced to Frodo's dad,
yes,
who I guess Shannon's like now like really worried about Frodo because he's got like gel in his hair now and he's walking around in like Stony Island stuff. So they bring his shockingly Israeli Jew dad,
clearly of Ashkenazi Jewish heritage dad.
Yeah, and there's no explanations. Their mum is dead, and there's like a very brief moment of like, you know, like family history drama.
Mom fucking died.
Where he's like talking to his like fit sister, and
can't even handle my fucking cola.
God, we really are soft as fuck, aren't we?
And suddenly I was just like an explosion of gas. Whoa, I can't contain it. Jesus.
And like there's like a moment where he's like, "You're the one that ran away when she died."
It's just, you know, I've been begging you to come and visit me for the last 3 years, and you didn't even come to my wedding, and it's just you don't know my husband, and you haven't even held your nephew, and you show up on my doorstep yesterday and you're leaving already. And
look who's talking. I mean, you ran to another fucking country after Mom died.
Anyway, so his rabbi father turns up.
What's that actor from American Pie? The dad from American Pie.
Yeah, like, and he's a journalist. He's like a journalist as well. He like works with the he's like the not like the king journalist. What is he, like the head
journalist? What the fuck are you talking about?
He's like
sorry, don't assume it's the king journalist. No, you're like, no, not like the king journalist. No, definitely not the king journalist. Come on, man, you have like a normal job and stuff. You know how the world works. You're not 7. The king journalist.
He's like
what's
like,
in these? Like the king journalist.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
I conveyed what I needed to convey.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. Okay, like.
The king journalist, he's not a penguin or a member of the royal family, so he's not the king.
No, what I mean, he's like a really top level, like high up journalist,
like the boss or like anything.
No, he's like a very famous, yeah, some of those things. He's like a famous journalist.
Okay, he's a
like,
respected journalist.
Yeah.
No, not the king. The king, sort of fucking Bowser Mario shit. Do you think it is? Yeah, no, he's an important journalist, and Matt was studying journalism, and we're told a lot throughout the film, like, one thing we hate more than Yanks is journos.
Only thing regarded worse than a Yank around here are coppers and journalists.
What do you got against journalists?
How long you got? They're lying fucking scum who write anything just to fill papers.
Really because of Donal McIntyre.
Yeah.
Because of people like Donal McIntyre. That is really the idea. It was really Donal McIntyre that really sealed the deal.
Yeah. Donal McIntyre, he got attacked like years later.
He got attacked recently. He got attacked recently.
And this is like 20 years after he made the documentary.
I think the person who did it was like a fucking moron, like, and just mental, and he was like not connected to the firm. And was just for some reason like, no, and just trying to join in with something that he wasn't a part of.
That Donal McIntyre is how he found. So he's like following around like one of like, you know, like the main like football like firm like the bosses, and like years and years and years and years later, that guy, he made a video, I think, like talking about it. You know, the YouTube video where he's like talking about it, and it's got like, it had like literally like 100 views. Like, it's not like, you have to like, it's not famous at all.
He's called Jason Mariner, and he's proper moron. He was the one who was most humiliated by the documentary.
Yes.
And he's on the beach somewhere, and he's got his top off, and he's like really brown, and he's talking about it, and he's like, here's why this documentary was a joke and whatever. And then like he's trying to like go on a rant about how Donal stitched him up or whatever, because he comes off horribly in the documentary.
And he really accepts Donal like with like open arms.
Yeah, and then he's talking about like Hitler and stuff. It's like really bad. Like he comes off so badly in it.
Yeah.
It's a horrible expose. And then he's doing this video trying to explain it, and it has the best YouTube comment I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It just says, fat. Just try and find the video of Jason Mariner talking about the documentary. Just find this comment. Just no regard for what he's saying. Not even attempting to listen, just fat.
Yeah. It's really good.
It's just
like
so
a bullet, just like fat.
Fat. Yeah, and it's nice, like, these people who go around, like, beating up people and, like, being bullies and stuff, and on YouTube, someone can just be, like, fat. And there's, like, nothing they can do. Don't do that to us, by the way, please. It'll really upset us.
Yeah. You okay with your cola?
Yeah, I managed to get it down there. Yeah, I learned halfway through, like Matt Buckner, I kind of like acclimatized to it. So yeah, we see his dad. His dad basically, we're rambling a lot. His dad's like, "Why have you got gel in your hair? What's happened? You look so
he's like,
different, Dad."
he literally says like, he's like, you look like a different person now.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, he's just got a little bit of gel in his hair and he's wearing like a sort of cool zip up.
Yeah, but basically a week of just like being taken under the wing of a charismatic football thug will just change you.
Yeah.
So he's his dad then convinces him to meet with the editor of the Times, just as like, just come and meet with him. You know, maybe you can get back into journalism. He's trying to help him get his life back on track.
I have to go to the London Times.
You're unbelievable. You know that?
Just someone I'd like you to meet.
I'm not 5 years old anymore. It takes a little bit more to manipulate me.
Just an old friend from my Tribune days, I thought.
You thought all it takes is a handshake from the editor of the Times and I'll have my old life back?
And Matt's like now a football hooligan, so he's like, I don't want to meet a journo, Dad. And he ends up agreeing to do it.
Just to sort of like placate his like rabbi father.
And so this is a little coal we get in the fire that we're going to come back to later. Another one is we're getting references to this guy called the Major, who ran the West Ham firm. This is important to know for later. The Major ran the firm before Pete did, and he was like the most savage bastard.
And like really respected amongst like not even like his firm, but like the other firms. Like he was
even
famous
the other
up and down the
blokes
UK.
respected the Major because he was so hard.
Well, who's the Major?
The Major. Quite a legend round here. He ran the GSE in the early 90s when I was coming up. Hardest bastard you ever saw.
He's such a madman. And a couple of other quotes, by the way, I've got here before we move past them. A couple of other Pete quotes. The last two I've actually picked out here are, and I don't remember exactly this one, but something along the lines of, what was you doing then before this geezer stitched you up?
What was you studying before this geezer stitched you up?
And then he's talking about the FA Cup draw, and he's meant to say United away, and he goes, United away.
What's on your mind then?
Just two little words keep every hammer in England up all night. United away.
He's like, the worst news. United away. Like, he just like, the way he says it, like, United away.
United away.
Like, the vowels are all wrong.
It's like his mouth is like a cement mixer.
Yeah,
And, like,
United away.
And the words are just like sort of tumbling around his mouth.
They really are, yeah. It's like he's done some weird tongue exercise that's fucked him up for life.
Also that tonguing down of Matt Buckner.
Yeah, he just like, Then Bother goes in a sort of fit of jealous rage. Bother then takes his motorcycle and goes over to Millwall territory.
There's a lot of like sort of like cool Bother on a motorcycle scenes.
Yeah,
in this.
Bother's pretty cool in the film,
Yeah.
I'd say. Bother's like, he's again, Leo Gregory is a good actor.
He is.
And he goes and meets definitely the best character and actor in the film. He goes to their fierce rivals, Millwall's turf, and he meets Tommy Hatcher, played by Jeff Bell. I think Tommy Hatcher's like a classic movie villain. He's actually really good.
Really, whenever he's on the screen in this film, he's quite like, he's very like captivating.
He's very commanding, yeah.
He's really like...
He's also a fucking horrible bastard.
Yeah.
Basically, in whatever he's in the business, in this, he's a fucking horrible cunt.
George, your bird hasn't stopped fucking rabbiting since I've walked in here. Now, can I recommend that you shut her up so I can continue my conversation with our guest there, Bother?
You can't tell me.
Do you see what she's doing? Do she ever fucking stop this?
And it helps that he's got a face that's, pretty rough. Like
He looks like, oh no, he just looks very evil.
He looks very evil, very frightening, very cockney, and like you would not want to fight him. I remember because I saw this film as a kid, and like it was permanently etched into my memory, like that's what Millwall fans are, and I was permanently like, just like, oh, Millwall are horrible, because I never met any in real life. I was just like, oh, Millwall, and like, yeah, they really get like the nastiest looking guy to play a Millwall fan. He's really good and like really scary. Bother goes to meet him, and he goes and he's just like being all weird. Again, he's like, being such a geezer, I won't even eat me num-num stuff.
He's got like a plate of like pie, and mash and stuff like that.
Don't
and
want
he's
me num-nums, I'm too
really hunched over the plate. Like it's a very strange, pretty terrible for your digestion.
He's really lean. The thing is about when Leo Gregory does the leaning into the Cockney thing, it's actually realistic.
Yes.
The other ones do it in a silly way, but he does it in a way that is silly, but that is actually realistically silly. So he's like leaning in, he's like won't eat his num-nums, and he's acting all like a kid who's been like told off or something. And then it has this weird scene where you get the feeling he's like considering switching sides or something.
Yeah.
But nothing really happens. And then Tommy Hatcher like beats up some guy who's annoying him in the calf. If they're willing to beat up this random guy in a calf because his girlfriend was laughing too loudly, you'd think Bother would get his head kicked in.
Oh, yeah.
But for some reason, they're like, right, you turned up, you didn't tell us nothing, and you're eating in our calf.
And you find out later in the film, I won't give spoilers yet, but you find out later in the film that like Millwall, and particularly this guy, they fucking hate the GSC. They have like a real bone to pick.
Well, the background to this, is basically... oh no, you don't know because you find all of this out later, don't you? Yeah. But he really, really, really wants to get at the GSE. This guy, Tommy Hatcher.
It's good because it'll make people want to watch more of the video.
Because they'll get the twists.
Shit, fuck, what is it?
So anyway, then we get. I think this is where the movie jumps around. I think the movie has been actually, apart from the silly things we've made fun of.
Yeah.
I actually think it's quite good up
At
until this point.
I don't have any issue with it at this point.
I'd say like the pacing of the film is okay. There's some flaws. Like they brush over him becoming a hooligan too quickly. But overall, I actually think it's quite a well-made, like reasonably well shot, reasonably like lively movie that's actually quite good in a lot of ways. When they get to Manchester is where I feel it like jumps the shark quite badly, and it kind of continues to, and it brings out the worst in the film. So they arrange to go to Manchester.
And this is the one with the scene where it's like Pete, he's telling Matt Buckner, he's like, you gotta stay here, darling, because I don't want you to get hurt.
You can't come with us, it's too dangerous. And he's like, you keep telling people to stand their ground, and you say all these confusing rules about when to fight and
There's
when
like
not
stuff
to.
where he's like, you never hit a man down when he's on the deck. And
They
it's
do
like,
it loads
you do that
in the film.
all the time in the movie.
You don't hit a man on the deck, no matter what he's done.
I don't care who he is or what he's done. You don't do someone on the deck.
Yeah, like...
We've seen you do that very
do it
thing.
constantly. It happens throughout the whole film. And it's like, you stand your ground, don't come with us. So anyway, they go off to Manchester and they find out there's like all these guys waiting for them.
And Frodo sneaks onto the train.
What are you doing here, Matt? I thought it was just the three of you.
Oh, ain't that sweet?
He comes onto like the train's departed and all the the original GSE boys are together, and then suddenly Matt Buckner he like walks into their carriage with literally like love hearts in his eyes, and he like sits down. It's basically like I couldn't believe you.
Then he's like, I thought it was just the three of you, because he sees Bother's there now.
Yeah.
And he's really and there's been a bit of tension between Pete and Bother, and he sees Bother's there and he's really upset.
It is a bit like a love triangle.
Yeah, like Bother, like he's like, Bother's here? Come on, man, I thought he wasn't here. And then he's like, well, he's here now, he's got to sit with us, ain't he? So they bring him in and Bother's like glaring at him like,
I ain't going in with it, fucking mug.
Sit down, man.
And he's getting all uncomfortable. He's like, Bother's looking at me. And it's like, aren't you hard now? Why don't you just be like, hey, Bother, fuck you, let's have a one-on-one, you pussy. And like, just fight him. Because clearly it's not going away, this issue. But anyway, so they go, and yeah, it jumps the shark because, like, well, first of all, they find out all these guys are waiting for them. They get rung by the pilot.
Not really. He looks like...
Dave, where are you?
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Pal. Listen,
Plane late?
yeah, the flight was an hour late.
Fly faster.
I'm here.
What, Manchester?
There's like 40 of them like waiting here, all getting very fucking excited. So, listen.
Then they find out all these guys are here, and then one of the guys who's got the weird Cockney style we mentioned, the one who's always like, yeah. He's like, they're like, why don't we get off at the next station? He's like, nah, mate, express train, don't stop till Manchester.
Can't we just get off at the next station?
Nah, this is a fucking express train, don't stop till Manchester.
Which is one of my favourite lines in the film. This is an express train, don't stop till Manchester.
Yeah.
And he's got his own weird Cockney style, you know, they've all got the different ones. And then Bother's like, yeah. And then he punches the emergency thing. Again, unnecessary. Maybe use your elbow where you've got your jacket or something. But he's like, psh, punch the glass because he's so hard. And he loves a bit of it. And it's like, Bob, shouldn't you have gotten into like MMA or something?
Yeah.
You channel your talents and your obvious, you know. And he smashes the glass. And for some reason, he smashes it when they're exactly at a station. Somehow, so they get off at a train station.
Yeah, because normally when you smash that glass, you're
in the middle. You're in
stops
bushes
wherever the fuck you are.
You're in like there's bushes and grass. You're in a field somehow because also the train doesn't go and stop instantly.
No.
So Bother's been like, there's a station about there, perfect timing. Psh! And they land at the station, and they get out, and then they get out and they're like, oh, I need to get a taxi. And then Pete's like, where's the cabs?
Gotta get that station first. Are you insane? We just got away. Oh, do you want to shut the fuck up? You shouldn't even be here. This is what it's all about. It's what we fucking live for. Fuck him.
All right, here's the plan. Call Dave, tell him what's happening. It's about 12 miles to Manchester. We need a couple of cabs immediately.
Where's all the fucking cabs?
And this is my least favourite bit in the film. They don't know what to do and how they're going to get there. And then Matt Buckner, we're seeing how he can provide things that the other guys can because he's so smart and American. He sees this van delivering like boxes of crisps or something. He sees it and he's like, I've got an idea, Pete. And they're like, what? And then in the next scene, for some reason, Matt Buckner is in the front of the van with the van driver, who's completely unrelated to all of this. They've obviously hijacked the van and all the boys are in the back. And Matt Buckner's in the van with the crisp delivery guy, and they're pulling up outside the station where the Manchester guys are. And the Manchester guys are like, hey, why are you trying to get through here?
We're with Paramount Pictures shooting the new Hugh Grant film. We got to get this gear through.
Hugh Grant film? Any decent women in it?
Cameron Diaz, I think.
I hope so. She's fit as fuck.
What, you're going to see a Hugh Grant movie?
Yeah, because it's got Cameron Diaz
You're
in it.
literally a Manchester football hooligan. Like, your mate's just had his eye taken out in one of the fight, like, and you're going to, like, go and see a Hugh Grant movie. Haven't you got access to pornography? Like, you know, this wasn't made that long ago. Like, you're like, Cameron Diaz is in the new Grant movie.
To be fair, it was from the era where I think men really liked to watch films with hot women in.
Yes, yeah, and that's why it annoyed me, because even then I never understood it. I was like, you're going to watch a movie because there's a hot woman in it? Like,
yeah, like, you know, you can watch like literally like a 2-minute compilation. Like,
you can see as many videos of Cameron Diaz or images as you want. You don't have to sit through a Hugh Grant film.
Simpler times.
And also it's like, so because you want the movie to be made, so you're going to let the van through that you weren't going to let through.
That was very confusing.
It's just the whole idea is like, how dumb is this guy? And he's like, yeah, she's fucking fit, let the van through. I've technically taken part in making the movie and now I can wank to Cameron Diaz and Hugh Grant. It's just like, what are you implying here? It's so annoying. And so they let them through. Then they've driven off just past the Manchester gang, and then all the West End boys, they jump out the back.
Which is really confusing.
It's not that different.
It's no different.
It's no different.
Like, because they were like, oh, well, we have to make sure that we don't meet them at the station.
And then they do.
What they do is they just like barely flank them.
They come from the side, but before they get there, they shout anyway.
And there's still
so
like
it's the exact
literally
same
like 5
thing.
of them and like 30 of these other opposing firms.
And if you came through the station, you'd have like walls to hide behind, and the security would be there, so you might not like get beaten to death. At least there might be some bare minimum of protection for you. But they just arrive at the side and they pick up some like road signs, and they're like, and it's like, well, how's that any different? You've literally done Grand Theft Auto of a witness who's seen all of your faces and you're all on camera, and he's gonna be like, yeah, there was a very distinctive American guy with like beautiful eyes. I'll never forget him being with all these football hooligans, and I'll never forget the way that other guy was looking at him, and then you've done this for nothing.
Yeah.
So they do this, and then for some reason, 6 or 7 of them are battering this Manchester gang, and then the police come along, and
the police don't come along for any of the other fights.
They only arrest the Manchester gang.
Yeah, there's actually way more like police activity in this like sort of like Manchester train station.
Every single Manchester firm member gets pinned down and arrested by the police, and every single West Ham one gets away, and they stand there taunting them while they're all getting arrested, and it's like the police are just like, no, they're not from around here. Let them commit crimes because they're from London. They're fancy Londoners. We can't touch them. And then they're like arresting they're like, these are our own people. We arrest our own lot. It's not how Manchester people sound. But anyway, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then he's like, in the narration, Matt Buckner's like, Ivan said that the story spread faster than the death of Lady Di.
We could have died that day in Manchester. Everybody knew it, but we didn't. Ike said later that the story traveled across England faster than the death of Lady Di. The GSE were finally back.
And then I think the film reaches a slightly sort of like bit of like a lull, don't you think? Like that, you're right. That scene is
that's
where
the film ends. It's shit.
Yeah, that's where it jumps the shark.
Where they couldn't be bothered to even think.
And then Bother, he's seen Matt go into the Times with his dad,
and then they also they turn up at Pete's place, and they're like, where's Matt? And like Pete's there with his shirt off, and it's like, Matt's probably fucking hiding in there.
Oh, hang on.
All right, boys. What you lot doing here?
He ain't you.
Nah.
He's a fucking undercover journo.
What?
Nah, bollocks.
They search Matt's laptop and they find his journals, and it's like proper embarrassing.
What's this?
Pete brought me to the Bridget Abbey pub on Walsh Road, his main hangout, and introduced me to his gang. Oh, look, we're a fucking gang now. Bother is Pete's thuggish right-hand man. Keith is sort of Bother's enforcer. You happy now? We're all in here.
Earlier in the film, Matt references to the fact that he's still, because his dad's like, what are you doing, like being like, you know, with these like football hooligans, and like Matt just like sort of like placate his father. He says, look, I am keeping my diary still.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's meant to be like, oh, he's keeping a diary, and then they read the diary, and then it's like, again,
It's
like
a bit embarrassing. He's like,
yeah.
I liked Pete, but Bother was mean, or something like that.
Yeah, it's
And
very
oof.
like a teenage girl.
You wouldn't want people to read that. You wouldn't
No.
want your new football hooligan gang to read
No,
your diary.
definitely
I
not.
like Pete, but Bother seems a bit mean.
And so then they're back at the pub.
Get all those juicy details, mate. Writing it all down.
What?
You fucking journal!
Alright, you sure you know what you're doing here?
It's fucking undercover! We found his journal, full of stories about all of us.
It's just a fucking diary.
Ned saw you at the Times with a couple of journals.
That was my dad. He's the journalist. You knew that.
Your man's a fucking journo and you knew about it.
Look, that don't mean nothing yet, Bob.
You what? He studies to be a journo, his old man is a journo. What's the fucking difference? You let one of them get in with us.
I wasn't trying to get anything.
You shut up!
I don't care who he is or what he's done. You don't do someone on the deck.
Yeah,
he
and
almost
he's about-
does him on the deck, and Pete's like, "We don't do it, man. When you do the deck."
Pete steps in, and he's like, no, like I'm like, you know, like he's one of our boys. I believe him.
He's like, "He's mine, mate. I believe him."
Because it comes out as well that Pete knew the whole time that Matt was a journalism dropout, but he didn't tell them. And I can't remember why, but for some reason, Shannon's hubby is there.
But basically everyone, Shannon's husband has come to talk some sense into Matt.
Yeah.
The reason is Millwall and West Ham have been drawn in the FA Cup, and I think then it's suddenly there's a lot of gravity to this situation, because like we're going to actually play, because they never really play each other, because West Ham are generally like in the higher divisions. So the idea that they've drawn each other in the cup is like there's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be crazy.
These are two like, and
serious
also like
firms.
not only are they like you know like really rival football teams, but there's also like very bad
It's
blood.
implied there's bad blood between the firms.
These two firms. And why is that, Ciaran? Why is there bad blood?
We find out in a sec, but basically first is they have this massive, it kicks off, and everyone is clearly very uncomfortable that Pete is siding with Matt Buckner.
Yeah.
And he's just destroying his life.
And he's like known
over
Bother.
Matt.
Like you're
All his
told
life.
like he's known. It's like his oldest and dearest
And
friend.
all the others are like looking at him like, why are we keeping this American journalist around who's not even hard anyway?
And he's like, he might not be hard, but he makes me hard.
Yeah, he's like, he's mine. I'm protecting him. I'm protecting him. His accent is just going mental at this point.
If I don't convince those boys that the head of their firm was not just taken by a fucking Yank journo, the GSE is done. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna tell them that Bob's got it wrong and that you're one of us. And I had better be fucking right.
And he defends him, and then Bother's like, fuck all he is, I'm going, and like goes off and storms off.
Nope.
Yep,
No.
this is what happens.
No.
Bother storms off. and
Shannon's
then-
Shannon's
brother is there.
Is there, and Bother says. So basically, you
Bother
find
tell-
out. No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
You find out. Silence. You find out that when Shannon's hubby goes to talk some sense into Matt at the pub about don't go to the Millwall game, he makes a revelation.
You might as well just watch the film.
Yeah,
we don't know what's going on.
He makes the revelation that he's actually the major.
Stevie Dunham. Back in the Abbey after all these years. Welcome home, Major. The Major!
And he basically was in like, you know, he was like the top of the elite of the firm. Everyone looked up to him. He was like the hardest cunt ever.
I was a crazy bastard back then.
All I fucking cared about was my reputation amongst the firms of England. I mean, you've heard all the stories about Millwall, yeah?
Wait, the Major comes in, Bother asks the Major to step in.
This is where you find out the crazy thing.
You find it out after Bother
No.
leaves. He sits down with Pete to tell him.
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter anyway.
Okay,
Sorry.
fuck off. You're like, you've got to stand your ground and fight.
Exactly, I'm literally standing my ground.
You're getting like revved up from your fucking little cola you had.
Yeah.
Fucking exploding with burps and like.
No, mate, don't remember what fucking happened to why fucking dang.
And because at this point Bother's not there when you just let me let me drive.
I got the picture.
So he's telling him so he was at this really brutal fight. This was years and years ago before he met Shannon, before he met Frodo's sister and had their weird balding baby. And Tommy had a son who was 12, and Tommy always used to talk about how his son was like a pit bull, and he would bring him to the fights.
Tommy's the Millwall guy.
Tommy's the scary Millwall guy, yeah. And during this really brutal brawl between Millwall
how do they show that this is in the past, by the way, with Tommy and Shannon's husband, who we now learn is has been the Major all along.
So this is flashback scene. So I'll explain what happens in the flashback scene, and then we'll get into the.
Well, it helps to set the scene.
Yeah, it'll set the scene.
They show us this is taking place in the
He
past.
looks facially the
Identical.
exact
The
same.
same age.
When you're meant to assume this is probably 20 years ago or something.
Yes.
But instead, they've given him this really ghastly, George Michael mullet.
Yes, like George Michael Pat Sharp.
Yeah, or George Michael Princess Diana.
Mullet.
Like mullet.
Noel Edmonds.
It's really odd.
And then Jeff Bell's Tommy's just got a bit of hair.
Yeah, and it's quite like a. It's quite like a sort of. There's two reasons why the scene doesn't really kind of pull off in the way that it intended to. It has the makings of quite a shocking scene.
Yes.
You're seeing him there, and he's looking, and there's all this chaos happening around him, and he's completely still because he's watching on the other side of the brawl, Tommy's 12-year-old son, and it's confusing because in the voiceover that's coming from the Major, he says that he watched his skull get crushed underneath the boots of the GSE. And in the shot that you're seeing the 12-year-old boy, but his head is just sort of being smooshed into someone's armpit.
He's quite well protected.
And it's they do focus in on this shot for quite a while of him, how you'd prank someone, if you had a sweaty pit. I mean, I don't know what you boys do, but that's what I assume sort of boy banter is.
Not really. No.
And being smell my armpit, and then and it's really sad because he watched his head get crushed, even though you're not actually seeing that. But then he's stood still in shock and horror. But then he's got this really silly mullet on.
In general, it almost was quite an effective scene, and the mullet and his acting is kind of weird in the scene.
Yeah,
and for some reason he's standing completely still in the
he's
fight,
not trying
and
to be
no one's fighting him.
And Tommy's there as well, and Tommy's been no, and so you find out that this 12-year-old boy died, which is really serious. You think a 12-year-old boy's skull got crushed.
Yeah, and they were all just run! The police, they do nothing.
And it's just been treated seemingly very casually, sort of swept under the rug.
And then he explains, he explains to Matt, he's like, after that's when I met your sister, and I never fought again.
She was my angel. She really saved me. Showed me a new life. Let me forget all this bollocks. But she swore she'd leave me if I ever returned to her.
And he's
like, I promised I would never ever look at that life again.
Two things about that. One, Shannon at that time must have been insanely hot. And when we see him with his mullet, he's a proper goblin.
Yeah.
And it's Shannon must have literally been an 11 out of 10 at that time. And what was going on there?
Yeah.
Two,
and he literally looks like Noel Edmonds.
Two, you met Shannon when you were this vicious, rotten thug.
Yeah.
And you were I just took part in a brawl where a 12-year-old boy's head got crushed. Yeah. And she was as long as it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. She's we're still going to live in London and raise a family.
We don't leave London. He's this bloke, Tommy Hatcher, scariest cunt ever, wants to fucking kill me.
He wants me fucking dead, but
You'll
we're
kill
going to
me and
live
my
still in
family.
London.
He's where's this guy from? London. Cool, let's stay here. Let's put our roots down. It's why didn't you just leave? Go to America with her.
So then this is when Bother comes in and like has it out with Pete and his like, you know, like his little like chai boy Frodo.
What's fucking wrong with you, eh? He's gonna bury us all and what? You're just gonna sit down and watch him do it?
And he looks to the Major being like, look, you're like, you know, like this is like your legacy. Like you used to be the top dog. What do you think about all this?
You're the Major. You started this firm. I'm speaking for all the boys here when I say we've got the biggest ruck of our lives coming up and your brother's too much of a bottle job to lead us.
The GSC is Pete's firm, all right? He calls the shots.
And like Bother's looking around the whole. Thank God I'm here to recap the film. And he's like looking around the pub, and like everyone is sort of like looking at him like, yeah, we side with Pete because he's like, you know, like it's the hierarchy thing. Like he's the king journalist.
I thought they begrudgingly accepted what Pete said because he's the leader, but they're not happy. And Pete is basically wrecking his life just because he's obsessed with Matt Buckner.
Exactly, because he just can't.
And they never explain why does he like him so much.
Yeah,
like,
they're both just like intoxicated by one another.
He's got mates.
And
like,
then Bother is like again like candescent with rage.
Fuck the lot of ya. GSC. Get a fucking one! Move!
And he storms off and he's like, fuck the lot of yous.
Yeah.
And he goes in his motorbike and there's a cool sort of Matrix-esque like motorbike scene. And he goes to the pub where Tommy is, the Millwall pub. And he's like telling him he's he's a journalist. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. That's not a problem in our firm. And then he's like, yeah, but the Major's there right now.
What makes you think that I want to sort it out for you? Eh?
The Major's there too.
Stevie Dunham's in.
And for some reason, it's like the Major, like he's so fortified in his like London apartment
where he just opens the door to anybody.
Like he can't. He's like you literally cannot find him in this apartment. Like he's so well hidden. Like, and they're like, he's in the pub, is he?
You can get to one side of London from the other in an hour. On the tube.
Exactly. And like they're acting like they're on like different sides of the earth or something.
Also, it's been he's had this bloodthirst since the 80s.
Yeah,
he's had a long time to find him.
And they're like, and he's like, okay, the Major's there, then I'm there too. And so for some reason, he can only get the Major in this pub.
Yes.
So they go there and Bother's there with them. And there's a really it reminds me in a lot of movies, this is a movie trope, where really conveniently you can hit someone on the back of the head and they knock out.
And they're out for just the right amount of time for the movie.
One of the worst offenders for this is Lost. Lost is like, if you get hit on the back of the head with a gun, you are out for the exact amount of time you need to be.
Until the director wants you to wake up.
Yeah. And he gets hit on the back of the head. And I did actually quite like this scene, like the Millwall lot, because like Bother turns around to them and he's like, look, this is how it's got to go down. Like he really wants to make sure that, like, you know, Pete doesn't get hurt. Like he basically, in his mind, they're just going to get rid of Frodo.
Well, he also wants them to. He's basically It's quite Shakespearean at this stage.
It is, yeah.
It's gotten almost quite good.
Yeah, this point was like quite tense.
The son dying adds a lot of gravity, and because Tommy's such a horrible bastard, you know that even though it was his fault, you know that he's the last guy you would want blaming you for his son's death, basically. Because he's got so much rage in him and he's such an angry, scary man. And so it adds a lot to it. And then you know the Major's got this new life and he doesn't want it. And then Bother is weighing up, well, the Major didn't stick up for me and I'm going to trade him. So I'm going to trade him off to get this guy who I hate and who I think's a traitor. And you can kind of, he's wrong, but you sort of get it a bit. Yeah.
And so he's like, he turns and is like, look, this is how it's got to go down. As in, like, you know, he doesn't want them to, like, go and, like, you know, he doesn't want what ends up unraveling to unravel. And he turned around and says it to them, and immediately one of the guys hits him on the back of the head with a beer bottle, and he just, like, literally crumbles to the floor.
So easy to knock him out.
Like an accordion.
Also, the bottle smashes, so it wouldn't knock him out.
And he's just, like, and he's like out for like about 10 minutes. He would have brain damage.
He would be non-verbal by the time he woke up.
Afraid you're the only one going down, little bother. Grass.
So they go in.
How do they go in?
Well, they go in like kind of like very sloppy ninjas, I would say.
Or like a SWAT team.
Not really a SWAT. SWAT teams don't throw Molotov cocktails.
No, they don't. But they
burst through the windows,
synchronized, like they literally, they would have shards of glass.
I feel like even like tough Cockney geezers, they're not familiar with bursting through windows.
No.
The best reputation you can have is the one with your family.
What is it? Hello, boys!
Again, very Shakespearean, it's like Macbeth or something.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Hatcher goes and finds the Major and he's like, fucking Major.
He's like,
and
if
he
you
storms
die
across.
tonight, then we're even.
Yeah, the Major like tries to, he's like, please, I'm not part of this. He tries to fight him off.
Listen! I know someone! I know you remember him! You fucking remember him! Sorry! It's too late! Oh! Oh, you bastard! Oh! No! Too late!
And then Tommy ends up picking up a broken bottle and stabbing the Major in the neck.
The jugular, yeah. And there's blood's pouring out everywhere.
He would die.
Yeah,
instantly.
he'd die like literally
5
instantly.
seconds.
Yeah. And so then they're like, and then for some reason, like, Pete's there, and it's like, it's Pete's brother, Bover's there. Like, these are people who, like, grew up with the Major, who, like, really, like, must, like, really love him and respect him. And the only person who's, like, screaming is Frodo, and he's being like, we gotta get him help! and they, like, break into a random person's car to drive him to the hospital. And they, like, when they ride out to the hospital, they, like, beep the car horn. They're like, beep, beep. And the whole time it's just Frodo, like, like being really shrill.
Come on,
and like yelling.
Somebody help! Help us! He's been fucking stabbed! Come on, hurry!
And so then they cut off the Major.
It's Bother who's hotwired the car because
Yeah.
Pete's like, what the fuck have you done, Bother? And Bother's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he like tries to get them to the hospital. And it's like, well, you did know, didn't you? I mean,
Yeah,
you're not
what did
that
you think
dumb.
was gonna happen?
What do you think he's going to tell him and tickle him? Like,
Yeah.
so obviously he's going to die.
Can't tell him, like pinch his ear or something.
Another thing about the Major reveal, by the way, it's revealed now, Shannon's husband is the Major. And suddenly from that moment on, what everyone talks about him being the Major and refer to him as the Major.
Which is why it's really hard for him hard for us to remember his name, because like he's only referred to in the second half of the film as the Major.
But before that, it's completely kept secret from Matt. Even though this guy's very much a part of his life, being his sister's husband, not everyone manages to keep the secret around
even
Matt.
Though, Frodo is like now like he's like one of the
He's hanging out at pubs with and they must be like, oh, your sister's married to the Major.
Yeah.
And no one tells him it's the Major as his sister's husband. And then suddenly after that, everyone's like, oh yeah, the Major. This is the Major.
And so they're in the hospital, and again, Pete's there. He doesn't look that shaken up. Frodo's there, and he looks fucking devastated. And then Bother's there as well. And like Pete like goes up to Bother, and he's like, why'd you do?
Backstabbing me. Teaming up with Tommy Hatcher to kill the Major. Kill my fucking brother.
Come on, Tom. Just say the word and I'll do it.
I don't need you for that. I don't need you for anything anymore.
And Bother's in full Gurgi state.
Yeah.
Bother fully becomes Gurgi in this scene.
from the Black Cauldron.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, poor miserable Gurgi deserves fierce smackings and whackings on his poor tender head.
League of Gregory, he can look a bit Gurgi-esque in general, but in this scene, his hair is just like happens to fall in the most Gurgi-esque way, and he's looking up with like pure like sorrow and repentance.
Gurgi, I can't even do it because I don't have the Gurgi mop top, but he's got the self-deprecating where he's like, Gurgi failed, mister. And he's like really like self-deprecating and like flagellating.
And he's like, please, and he like goes to like for some reason like hold his hand.
I want to touch you, mate.
And Pete, he's like, just go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
Please.
And that's his revenge for this guy who literally fully betrayed them all.
Yeah.
And had his brother like
nearly,
stabbed in the jugular.
You would assume like they don't know that is he dead at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, Bother, mate. just go away.
And like, the brother's smoking at this point. He's like in a hospital waiting room. I know this is set like, the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure that in hospital waiting rooms you weren't allowed to smoke.
I'm pretty sure they
back then.
didn't tolerate gangs of football hooligans smoking covered in blood in the waiting room. And for some reason there's no one else waiting for any treatment.
There's no one else. It's like the most free and easy A&E of all time.
Entire punishment, is just go away.
And they show like when they like rock up like the noddy car doing like the beep, like it's like East London Hospital. It's a big hospital. Like they wouldn't. It's a completely silent, empty A&E. Then Shannon turns up with the baby, which is okay, cool. I guess you've got
to see his dad on life support.
Yeah, you got to see his dad on life support. Like he's got to. I guess you're meant to believe. I guess Shannon doesn't like have any friends or family there that she could like ask to look after the baby while she goes. Her husband's been stabbed in the jugular. Like maybe you don't want to bring your baby to the hospital.
Well, also the thing is, if she's not at home, there's no one around to like leave the door wide open
There's
for
a lot
rival
of scenes
firms
of that.
to come
Yeah,
in,
like
where they just open the door.
Yeah, exactly.
To no one.
So she's there and like she goes to meet see the major, and he's all like like strapped up to like life support and stuff, and he's like lucid and conscious, and she's like holding his hand and like crying, and it's quite a good acting from her, I thought, at the time. Like she's she's quite good, and she, even though this man is literally on like death's door, like like recovering from like being literally shanked in the neck, and she tells him that her and the balding baby, they're going back to Boston tomorrow, and like she's basically telling him that they're gonna have to split, because that was her like hard and fast, like I won't be with you.
And it's like you could have given him maybe a day to get so like he's literally just been stabbed.
Yeah, exactly.
And he can't talk, and he's like,
yeah,
we're leaving tomorrow.
You could literally kill him with this news. Like, you literally are telling him his baby's being taken to the other side of the world and he's not going to see it anymore. He's fully non-verbal on life support. And you're like, I'm fucking breaking up with you, you piece of shit. You lied to me. And it's like, give him a chance to explain himself. There's two sides to every story, Shannon. Take it easy. Yeah. And she's just like, no, I'm gone.
Yeah, it's like, we're going tomorrow.
And then Pete, back in the waiting room or wherever it is, it's revealed... like all the other boys come along, and it's like clearly things have escalated to a point that's like, I think you should go back to being a pilot, and Pete should go back to his job as a school teacher, and Matt should fuck off back to America.
Someone's been literally like shanked in the neck. The pub was set on fire.
Yeah,
like
people were swinging through windows like SAS.
And then like tomorrow it's going to be the Millwall game.
Yeah, and then they agree. They decide, right, we need to like sort this out once and for all.
You let Tommy know I want to straighten her. Tomorrow.
All right.
We finish this once and for all. Somewhere quiet, away from old Bill.
And so he arranges for it, and then they're all getting ready, and it's like, guys, like, just clearly this thing between Tommy and the Major and Pete is like, it's very different to having a scrap at the football.
I mean, really,
there's like dead children involved.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
People's lives being fully threatened, and you're like, come on then, Pete, let's stand our ground. It's like, just
like, this is escalated beyond football.
A wife. Why don't you just move to Spain?
Why don't you just like never live? If her thing's like, okay, if we're gonna be together, you must never get involved in football hooliganism ever again. Like, maybe the right thing would have been to like move to anywhere else in England. Like, go to Scotland or Cornwall or Devon. Like, don't like stay in the epicenter of where all your football hooliganism like history was. And so they. And like Matt saying to him, Matt and Peter, they have like a sort of like lovers tiff.
I'm going with you to that wharf tomorrow.
Jesus Christ.
They crash our pub. They put your brother in the hospital.
That ain't your problem anymore.
The fuck are you talking about? I've got just as much at stake here as you do.
Matt, listen to me. It's time to go home.
I don't know where my home is anymore.
I think we both know where it ain't.
He says Matt needs to go back with his sister and not fight in this fight because it's like Pete's fight now. And then Matt says, I've got just as much at stake in this fight as you do. Like,
no, you don't.
No, you fucking don't. Like, there's nothing at stake in this for you. Like, what's at stake is like your love for Pete. That's it. Like, you're like, I don't know how long we're meant to assume he's like been in this by now.
There is
like,
literally no reason for him to be involved in the fight.
No, I've got I know my brother wasn't stabbed in the neck.
And I know I've supported West Ham for probably 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and
probably
I
about
still
like
don't understand the
1% of
offside
my
rule.
life. Yeah.
The tattoo still hurts.
Yeah.
But I've got just as much at stake. Yeah. Yeah, this firm wasn't like passed down to me from
Generation
generations.
to generation, yeah.
It's ridiculous. And they go off to the fight, and you see them, and they've got a song, which I believe the song is actually by the guy who plays Jeremy Van Holden, the guy who got Matt Buckner kicked out of Harvard. And they go off to the fight, and they're all on the way there. You see the two different mobs, and separately, you know, they're on their way to this big fight. And again, it's shit, but like a lot of Green Street, you are still getting like, it's kind of rousing something in you.
It is, yeah.
It does, doesn't it? It just works somehow at times. You're like, yeah, the boys.
In the far away fires, where the hills forever burn.
And then like Frodo just turns up, like they're all marching to the fight, and Frodo's like, I'm not leaving you, Pete. I fucking love you.
And Pete just like, he just accepts it.
Pete's
He's just like,
don't leave our man behind. It's
I
like,
guess
you
he's like-
really need to get these rules written down and firmly established.
like
and
the Seven Commandments or something.
Like, you need to lead by example and say what we can do and what we can't do and what we should do, because it's very like all over the place what the rules are.
Yeah.
You've got to run away. You've got to stand your ground. You've got to finish him off. You can't fight a man when he's on the deck. Like, you're part of this. You're not part of this. It's just a complete mess.
And this is the immediate aftermath of when he's been like stabbed in the neck, and like Shannon has to leave back to Boston because it's not safe for them anymore. This is a part of the film where you get a lot of like she opens the door, like Matt like knocks on the door. She doesn't look through the peephole or anything. She opens the door as wide as it could possibly open. There's a lot of like just very like
She's like, hope he's not Tommy Hatcher.
blatant disregard for like personal safety or like security of your home, your
God
baby.
forbid she protects the baby whatsoever.
Yeah. And so then there's context to this, guys. So yeah, so Pete, after really kicking up a fuss about how Matt cannot come to this fight, is like just very accepting of Matt turning up at the fight. Where he could die.
We're assuming this is almost like this fight is gonna be like pretty intense. It's like
yeah,
someone's almost died, and clearly
last
Tommy
time
wants someone to
a
die.
12-year-old boy's skull got crushed.
Yeah.
And then the time most recently when there was like a sort of brawl between them, you know,
There was
someone got
arson
sliced
and,
in the
like,
neck.
Attempted murder.
Yeah. So, you know, you're going to assume this is going to be a pretty bad
and then
one.
Bother got like the most serious like Bother's now.
Bother's got brain damage.
Bother's should just be done. It's like latent. It's going to happen like after the film.
Well, he does sort of act a little bit like he's got brain damage afterwards. He's that's where the scene when you get him where he's
we forgot about this.
There's a scene where Bother's really drunk. He's like drunk like a bottle of like vodka on his own, and he's like on like just some random like bench in London, and the Green Street
the West Ham
that's
song.
right, the West Ham like anthem
I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, which is always
it's
seemed
very
a bit
odd.
weird to me.
It's very odd to see like grown Cockney men that are like meant to be really hard singing a song about like blowing pretty bubbles, like pretty
literally.
bubbles in the air.
Very odd.
I'm forever blowing bubbles. Pretty bubbles in the air.
He's like getting up on the bench and like screaming at the top of his lungs because he's like so upset about what he did. And the film portrays this scene in a very sort of Shakespearean way. Like it's meant to be like, whoa, that's deep, man.
Bother's
like,
gotten so like he's on his own.
Mhm.
I mean, Bother again, he's killing it. He's actually very good in this
is
film.
very good.
And he's doing this song, and I was saying, Tara, it reminds me of like maybe you're like going to work really early in the morning.
Yeah.
You're living in the city, and you're having to get up earlier than usual.
You got like a night shift,
and you just like hear, you know. Just like, oh, forever blowing bubble. And you see some guy on a bed and there's like a bottle of vodka and you're just like, I haven't seen anything.
I've got blinders on.
I'm just walking
Don't
to
make eye
work.
contact.
If anyone sees me, I'm fine. Please don't look. And you're just like walking along.
Yeah.
You really Bother's that he's acting in that way. You just really try to pretend you don't see it.
Yeah.
And thankfully, a policeman comes along and wakes him up, and Bother wakes up and is like, and then he wakes up.
It's actually
and
very
then-
realistic acting. I
Yeah,
thought
he
at that point,
like
the
he's
way,
on a vicious hangover.
like he wakes up a little bit like sort of like a startled hog.
Yes, like
and-
he's on a bench and he's just like,
and then he fucking runs.
bolts.
Like he bolts and like
which is probably not so realistic when he's on
No.
this minging hangover
But
and he's just
like-
like pop, pop, pop.
luckily he does bolt like the Terminator, because he's running, and at the same time it's like, okay, cool, these two like almost like gladiator armies are about to clash. And what happens, Ciaran?
Well,
can you remember?
Yeah, I can remember. Yeah, but Bother turns out. I want to say on that, Bother runs away to join the fight.
Yeah,
and there's again. Many characters in the film do this very Gurgi-like thing as well, where it's like, Gurgi, not leave them behind.
Well, it's literally what happens is Gurgi sacrifice.
Gurgi sacrifice.
Yeah.
Gurgi? Gurgi? Is that you?
Master!
Gurgi, what are you doing here?
And like, but that happens a lot throughout the film. Like Matt getting back on the train, and like they keep coming back for each other, and they use this plot device, like we don't leave our men behind, like over and over and over.
I'd like
again.
to have like a sort of serious interview with the director, and then just to randomly mention throughout the just randomly in the interview that clearly Gurgi was a really strong reference point. You know Gurgi from the Black Cauldron. Like clearly we can all see that he was a very heavy influence throughout the movie.
Yeah, but you pitch the interview in a way where he wants to go along with it, because it's been so far very like made him feel really good about himself, and then he's like,
Yeah, he has no idea who the fuck Gurgi is.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of influences for the film, actually. I mean, yeah, so that may have been, there was lots of things. Yeah, certainly. So Bother turns up, and yeah, basically the fight's gonna start, and then Bother runs along, and like Tommy Hatcher and Pete and all these people, they're all fighting, and it's a huge serious brawl, and Frodo's there. And then Bother turns up and like punches someone or something, and Pete's delighted by this and is immediately like, Bother,
no, so Pete,
you always were fucking our cunt or whatever.
Pete is getting beaten up by Tommy Hatcher, and Tommy Hatcher, for some reason, even though other people there, they have like bricks and they have like bottles and like planks of wood, Tommy Hatcher's got like a police baton, and like the police baton is like meant to be like, whoa, that shit's about to get really serious. And I was saying to Ciaran, like, why? Like, I mean, there are like, these are, you're meant to assume these are like, they're like fucking football hooligans. Like, why doesn't one of them just bring a gun? Yeah,
because it's a bit weird. Again, they're very selective. Some of them just randomly have bottles and bricks and planks of wood, and other ones just turn up with their fists. And it's like, even if you're hard, you turn up to a fight where someone's going to try and hit you with a brick or a baseball bat. Shouldn't you bring something?
Yeah.
And some of them will have like little weapons, and sometimes it's like, what are the rules?
Yeah, one guy's
here?
got like knuckle dusters, and it's like, I think why didn't everyone turn up with like fucking
everyone should
knives?
have knuckle dusters, or
everyone should have a knife.
Pick up a brick. Yeah, just get, like you said, just get a gun or a flamethrower.
Normally with the football hooligans, I mean,
there's some rules like you don't
normally
do that.
It's meant to be like you just beat the you just kick the shit out of you.
Oh well, kick the shit out of you.
Killing them isn't really meant to be the end game goal. Like it's not really that's. But during this, it is.
I would say generally, probably there was a general code of honor. You don't really do bring weapons, but at the same time, they're just like rowdy,
you don't
vicious.
Kick a man when he's down on the deck.
Rowdy, vicious folks who are not probably in their lives known for like sticking to the rules all the time. So I'm sure it happened.
So Pete's getting beat. He's getting the shit beaten out of him by Tommy with this police baton, and he's like on the floor because he's been like hit really hard across the ribs with his police baton, and then suddenly Bother comes in like a bullet.
At least one of you Dunham cunts are gonna pay for my fucking boy.
For a moment or more, it was a world without danger, a world without war.
Well made, Bother. Never could turn down a good scrap. You know me, bruh.
And then Frodo picks Petey up, and then Bother goes to pick Petey up, and it's like you're meant to assume that I guess Pete's like broken some ribs and stuff like that, and he's like really injured, and they're like, okay, cool, we got to get you out of this because you're like kick a man when he's down on the deck.
Precious as well.
And then what happens, Ciaran?
And then Shannon has inexplicably, and look, many things happen in movies where you go, why would they do that? No one would do that. I think this is the worst I've ever seen.
In any film ever.
Relative to the movie, because there's some terrible movies where nothing makes any sense. But like relative to the overall quality of the movie, Shannon decides the best possible thing to do when this big brawl is happening is to get in the car with her baby and drive down to the brawl to see what's happening.
Fucking idiot! Get out of here! Janet, stop! Man! Janet, stop!
Hey, Pete, what are you doing? Fucking hell, Tommy. That's Steve Dunham's wife.
Tommy loses that car, do you know what he'll do to her? He's a fucking animal.
Hello, love.
Because she sees that Frodo's not there and they're meant to like, be catching a flight together. So she like hurtles in her 4x4, baby in the back, and she knows where Frodo's gone. She knows. It's not like she's like, oh, where's Frodo?
And
like,
when she gets there, she is a bit surprised, like, oh, there's a brawl, but that doesn't stop her.
But no, she
doesn't change her mind.
She's gone to go get him because she does know there's going to be a fight there.
Yeah.
It's not like she just like thinks she's going to go there now, having like a fucking teddy
And then
bear's
she
picnic.
sees the fight, and she's like, Pete, Matt, and
Yeah,
starts like
she
calling
gets out of the car, and then like you would just like there, and suddenly Tommy's like, "That's the Major's bird, and his kids in the car," and
it's the dumbest.
and so then they're like, okay, cool. They're like, so suddenly now Tommy's like, okay, he wants to like kill the baby because the Major killed his son, he thinks for some reason, and was like responsible for the killing of his son.
Yeah, and it's like, so the whole, for like 20 years, this guy's wanted to kill your baby, like,
and they're like,
kill your
stay
next
in London,
of kin.
stay in London, make sure my wife opens the door wide open to anyone.
Like my incredibly hot wife, let the football thugs just turn up at our door and like, don't get a ring camera.
And also, let's send, our like boy brother who's fresh off the plane. Let's send him down to the, where a boy's skull got crushed. And then, do you want me to wait if you just sit your little precious buns back down?
Making sure the recording hadn't stopped. Carry on.
And so then when she sees them all advancing towards her, Tommy's got a police bat and he's like, hello, lovely. Yeah. And she's like, okay, better make sure I get back into my car. And instead of reversing...
It's Tommy's right-hand man comes up. And he's like really big. Shannon jumps in the car and closes the door. She doesn't appear to lock the door, and she doesn't appear. She doesn't appear to even grab the baby at first. She just hops in the car like. Eeh! Suddenly she's scared.
Yeah.
And this bloke doesn't try to open the door. He's like a monkey. He just starts going.
It's like when you go like Longleat Safari.
When you go to Longleat, he doesn't know how to open a car. Like he's that dumb.
And she's got assumingly the keys in the ignition.
And she doesn't leave.
And she's just like like cowering in the back with the baby. So it's like, you're in a car.
I can believe.
Just drive back.
I can believe someone would make the dumb decision to drive there with the baby. But she makes dumb decisions.
No,
people do. In real life, people do fucking dumb shit. But I can't believe a semi-reasonable person who has a normal life would do continuously.
I just don't think you would be like, when a boy's skull got crushed, a 12-year-old boy's skull got crushed, I don't think you'd be like, where I should bring my baby?
Yeah, till that.
Disneyland Paris? Nah. Or maybe Butlins, Legoland? No, I'm going to bring him to...
And then get out of the car, leave him in the car, and be like, Matt, Pete?
Janet, stop! Matt, Janet, stop!
It's just over and over again. She does. It's not just
like
dumb.
Reverse. Just reverse.
Even if you had an IQ of literally like 50, you just have a sense of danger. You're like, I don't want someone to to attack me. Like, you just.
And she these people have just shanked her husband in the neck, and she's like, oh yeah, they just tried to gut my kill my husband halal style. Better bring my baby there.
It obliterates her as a character.
Yeah.
Immediately, you're like
world's worst mother.
Retroactively, the entire every part of the film with her and is just like, fucking moron. Like, what, you ruined everything for everyone. And she just instantly is like, you can't take anything seriously that happens in the film anymore. It's the dumbest thing ever.
And it really it takes you out of that, because this final section of the film is quite good, I think.
Yes.
And you're just watching her, it just, even if you were a fucking moron, you would be enraged watching this.
With a bit more effort in the writing, again, they could have made some quite Shakespearean stuff happen here, because there's the betrayal, there's the, Bother comes back, and then Pete sees this, and he's like in his bizarre accent, he's like, Bother, if you want to make up for what you've done.
Bob, you want to make up for what you've done? Get my brother's family out of here.
And Bother runs over, and probably one of the best bits, he two-foots the guy in the chest. He does this flying two-foot kick, which again is like, Bother, you're in the wrong life, mate. You're clearly an impressive chap, knowing how to hotwire cars and batter everyone. And he two-foots this huge guy in the chest, and then him and Matt, I think, beat him up together.
And the whole time Shannon's in the car screaming, and it's like, look, reverse.
Just reverse.
Or drive and
run him over.
Run over the people that are threatening your life, your baby's life, your brother's life.
Yeah.
Have tried to kill your husband.
And then Matt and Bother are fighting this guy, and then Tommy sees, and Tommy gets up and he's getting ready to go over and help his boy to
Yeah.
like kill Shannon and the baby, presumably. And then he's walking over and Pete sees it and Pete's
he's all
all
like
injured.
crippled, yeah.
And
he's crippled and he's Cockney, so he's like really
He's like really, yeah,
like
exactly.
a
He's like-
shrimp.
you don't know which one's making him hunch over. He's like a shrimp, yes, exactly. And he's like, "It was your fault, your boy died, Tommy.
You should have protected him.
You should have protected
He was
him."
your boy.
Yeah, he turns
He
into
was your boy.
He turns into Jerry Seinfeld. He's like, "You should have protected him."
You should have protected him, mate! He was your son! Don't you talk about my fucking son! Don't talk about...
Tommy's furious at this, at this sort of Jerry Seinfeld-esque outburst, as some of the viewers may be. And Tommy's like, "What did you fucking say about my boy?" And it's like, it's clearly quite an easy wind-up. Like, you've been quite easily, deterred from your path, which I guess goes to show why this is what you've amounted to in life, really. You can't even focus on, clearly you're like, "I've got to go and kill this baby," and then someone like insults your dead son and you're like, "Nah, back this way, actually." That baby killing, which is very drastic and will have very serious consequences for me, is actually slightly less important than like responding to an insult from someone who clearly doesn't like me anyway. So he goes over and then basically Pete like heroically sacrifices himself while he's injured he knowingly gets Tommy so angry that Tommy comes over to him.
Get the fucking motor! Get in the fucking car! Only a poor little hammer! His face was all buttered and torn! He made me feel sick! I hit him with a brick! Now the cunt's not laughing or singing no more! He's not laughing or singing! That's it!
But he's just battering him and he
And it's just
basically...
like punch after punch
and for
after
some reason,
punch.
this is like, they all get punched over and over again and like hit in the head with bricks and stuff, but this kills Pete. Pete can't even just put his hands up.
No.
He's just like, "Oh!" And he's just
And then everyone goes quiet.
everyone immediately,
And they
even
turn,
the rivals are like,
and
"Pete's
it's
dead."
like a scene out like Gladiator or something. And I said this to Ciaran last night, like, they all assume, I mean, Bother got knocked out for like literally, like, he was like unconscious for like 10 minutes from a beer bottle. No one like is like, maybe we should check Petey's like, his vitals.
He's probably all right,
we
yeah.
watched someone
We do this
survive
all the time.
literally getting his like throat slit open, like, but everyone's like, he's dead.
I know it. I can feel it.
Yeah, there's like his
I'm connected
his
to his
spirit is
aura.
not here. And
it's like, didn't you just want to kill a baby?
Yeah.
Like, you were trying to kill a baby and then you're like, "Pete's dead." It's like, what?
And there's this like really like dramatic, again, it's like quite a good shot, kind of like a drone shot of like, look like bird's eye view. And Bother is like, he's like crying. It's all a bit Shakespearean. He's like crying over Pete's apparently corpse. And like everyone is like looking so somberly like, "Oh, Pete's dead, the end of a legacy."
Matt at this stage has escaped with his sister.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like it's still almost kind of sad when Pete dies, because again, he's quite likable as an actor, and because Tommy Hatcher is so believable, like beating him to death, it still almost works, and you're like, "Oh, Pete's dead," and it's quite shocking almost. Yeah. And then Matt's like driven his sister off. Finally, someone's had some fucking sense to just like start the car up again.
If she had done that,
Pete would be alive.
Pete would be alive.
Yeah.
Like, all she had to do was just put the car in reverse, because then Pete wouldn't have had to do the distraction.
Yeah.
And so basically everything is Shannon's fault.
Well, everything is also Pete's fault. That's one thing I wanted to get to, is that Bother was right all along.
Yeah, he was right to distrust the
clearly
Yank.
a bad idea to just bring this random guy in. It caused all sorts of problems.
Yep.
And Bother was basically just like, "We've got a good thing going here. We're the top firm. Let's just not invite this weirdo in."
Yep.
And like get into all this drama. Let's just carry on doing what we're doing and getting in fights. So anyway, yeah, Matt then drives his sister off, and they're fine. He goes back to America, and
Well, and then
he says in the car,
no, in that scene, then you get like a little like scene of where one of the firm, they go to the major who's still in hospital, like plugged into life support.
They won't leave this guy alone. He's
trying to hold on and like digest the fact that his wife and baby, like his wife's left him and taken the balding baby, and he's there like, what have I got to live for anymore? At least I've got my brother. And then you just see him like someone like, you can't hear, they've got that sad music playing, and you just see him like start to rip out all his like tubes and stuff, and like blood's everywhere, and he's like screaming and crying like,
they've
this
gone to tell
guy
him,
cannot catch a break.
They're like, now's a good time to tell him while he's on life support. It's like there's no reason for him to know now. He's not going to be able to go and visit him, so just let him. And they're like, best tell him now while he's already in absolute agony on death's door. And like,
best let him know he's completely alone.
He's probably there and he's probably thinking, well, fuck, Shannon's gone. I'll probably rejoin the firm, to be honest. Me and Pete be like the old days. Yeah, fuck it, get back into it. And then the guy's like, it's all over. Everyone stopped doing football violence because your brother's dead. And he's like, no! And it's just so cruel the way everyone keeps giving him horrible news.
Yeah.
And then, so Pete's on his way back. And then it's probably like the best line in the film. Matt's driving, and he's like, Pete Dunham's life taught me that there's a time when you need to stand your ground, and there's a time you need to walk away.
Pete Dunham's life taught me there's a time to stand your ground. His death taught me there's a time to walk away. I would never have the chance to thank him, but I could live in a way that would honor him.
And it's like, that is kind of the film, really.
Yeah.
That sums up the film quite nicely.
It's probably the best dialogue in the film.
It's the best dialogue in the film.
Yeah.
It's quite true, you know. There are times to stand your ground and there are times to walk away.
There's times to stand your ground and fight.
Yeah.
And there's also times to run away.
It's an important lesson, to
true.
be honest. Like, it's actually an important life lesson. You don't always stand your ground. You don't always walk away.
A message, in some ways, if that was a message and a lesson that was passed on to like many young boys, then this film has done quite a lot of good for the world.
Yeah, although the kind of young boys who are actually getting involved with football hooliganism, they wouldn't watch this. They would watch something like The Football Factory or something. Or The Firm. Or ID. So anyway, he goes off and he goes back to America and he goes to. There's a very odd scene, isn't it? When we see Jeremy Van Holden again. And
this is really odd.
What's he discussing?
So they're like at some sort of like, kind of like fancy gentleman's business club, and they're like sort of like chortling and like drinking whiskey.
Well, congrats on the Epstein account, Van Holden. That should be a nice commission.
Congratulations on the Epstein deal. And it
really
was just
weird.
It was just quite sort of like Epstein jump scare. Like,
really? Mentioning Epstein?
Yeah, that was like just quite that was I don't know, it was just a bit odd.
It was quite strange that they chose the name Epstein, yeah.
And then he scurries off to the bathroom to go do a bunch of blow. And he's doing it in
Again with the slang.
Yep, that's right. And he's doing it like in the bathroom with the door like not closed or like locked or anything, and suddenly the door gets kicked open. Why are you chortling to yourself?
just find that funny.
And it's like I'm becoming like more and more like street and like sort of like hostile and like kind of confrontational as it comes along.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about being caught lacking and stuff, but I mean, to be fair, you've done probably quite a lot of cocaine in your life.
That is true.
But you never called it blow. So
no.
You've now suddenly decided you're like, fucking blow, you become Matt Buckner.
Yeah.
Actually. At the beginning of the film, you were Bother and now you're Matt Buckner. Like, I was caught lacking, even though Cockneys don't say that.
No.
It's like black inner city youths.
Yeah.
We're all mixed up, man. Boiling,
it's
pouring sweat.
Fucking Indian sweat lodge. Like I'm literally like I'm going in and out of consciousness.
I can't wait to do this in the winter.
Yeah.
Do our Christmas specials.
My
and stuff.
back right now against this like fucking it's disgusting.
And luckily, for some reason, this shirt isn't really showing. Anyway, look, he finds Jeremy Van Holden, the guy who got him kicked out of Harvard, and he goes in and he's like, "You said you would hook me up, man. Come on." And he acts like a little bitch. And Jeremy Van Holden's like, "What the fuck, man? What? Oh yeah, sure, whatever. Go away."
And he's being really, but like Frodo's being really bait. I thought of this. He's like, you told me that you were gonna look after me after I took the rep for those drugs that you hid in my room. Like it's like really, like, no one would talk like that.
Yeah, he says it all out loud. He's like, "They were your drugs. You said if I covered for you, you'd hook me up." And he's like, "Get out here." And then Frodo goes out and he smiles and he presses play on the tape recorder and he's still got his like spiky hair and stuff now to show he's now hard.
You said you'd hook me up.
I took the fall for you at Harvard. You said you'd hook me up.
You gotta be kidding me, man.
They were your drugs, and you said you had more to lose, and that you'd hook me up if...
All right. Yes, I said I would hook you up. Jesus, man, I'm in a meeting right now. Call my office, talk to Cindy. She'll make an appointment for you. You gotta be joking me, spineless shit.
That you'd hook me up if...
All right, yes, I said... What the fuck is this?
And he presses play on the recording, and Jeremy Van Holden hears it, and he's like, "What the fuck, Buckner?" And he comes to snatch it off him, and then Buckner, like, does the move that Pete did on him earlier and, like, trips him up and pins him down, and he puts his fist in his face. And, like, the guy then just gives up all hope of ever getting the tape recorder.
Slides down to the floor completely dejected and defeated. And it's
crying.
like, well, that clip, because he's constantly talking about in the early part of the film that his dad's like a politician, and there's no way that stuff could come out because it would completely ruin his dad's, like, politics
Yeah, but
career.
you're like, no, this tiny elf has, like, now...
This, like, 4'1" elf.
He wins.
Nothing. Like this guy, he's coked up. Like, he would batter Frodo.
Yeah, he's way bigger than him. He's coked. He's sniffing coke in the toilets. And, like, his whole life depends on it. And it's like, oh yeah, tape recorders, they're notoriously indestructible. Like little plastic cassette tapes. You can't destroy those.
No.
So he's just like, oh, you win. And then Frodo walks off and he goes out into the street and starts singing I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, they reach the sky. And like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune's always hiding. I've looked everywhere.
And you hear the faint echoes, and I would say...
And you also hear Petey, like, he's singing along.
He's singing
like,
with them.
Yeah.
And like,
it's like he's always there.
Again,
spirit.
it's like, it is almost rousing. But then also, really, the note the film ends on is like, Frodo is now a complete freak.
Yes.
Like, Frodo is this weird, spiky-haired football hooligan with a West Ham tattoo who's walking down the streets in America in, like, a posh area going, I'm forever blowing bubbles. It's like, you're not going to fit into society anymore. You're a fucked up weirdo.
He should just go back to London.
He should go,
yeah.
Or just go to like Turkey and get involved with the hooligans there or something. You clearly like it. Like, go to Italy and become like an AC Milan ultra.
That's what
or
they
something.
should have done, because they actually made Green Street 2. But the Green Street 2 is like really weird though.
Nothing to do with the original.
No, it's not. But they should have done a Green Street 2 where he just like goes like in like,
becomes
like
a
the
Juve
Russian
ultra.
ones. Like
yeah. So yeah, that happens and that's the end.
Yeah.
So look, before we fucking die, we'll quite
Let's
quickly.
crack on with the scores.
because I'm getting a bit overwhelmed in here. To be
Me
honest.
too. Yeah, like my back is. I wish
like
I could do above a like reverse osmosis.
We're
and
losing
just,
our our pizzazz. So look, so if you watch channel, we give two scores. We give a score for what the film actually deserves as a film, as an intended piece of work, and the second score.
It's like a so bad it's so good
it's good score. How much we enjoyed sort of watching it ironically and making fun of it. So the first score, the score for what it deserves as a film, quite tricky, I would say. This one, I'm between scores here.
I think for what it set out to do, I'm teetering between a 6 and a 7.
Really?
You got to bear in mind, like, what did this film want to do?
No, because what it wants to do is also part of what you grade it on. Like, why does it want to do that? Is it good to want to do that?
I think I'm going to give it... I can't give it a 7 out of 10 because the music is odd. It's not that the music isn't bad, because there's the music that Jeremy does. Jeremy Van, whatever the fuck his name is.
There's two very weird rap songs in it.
It's a very weird rap song where it's like, I guess it's kind of meant to be like, because like Matt Buckner, he's like an American, but he like knows all the, like, he's like really
I think maybe they made it for the film.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And there's another one that Bother's listening to, and it's like this weird UK hip hop like rubbish, and it's like Bother definitely doesn't listen to.
But the one at the end, and it's like it's like it's like a very American accent. He's like rapping about like pubs and ales and stuff. It's very odd.
It's awful.
I'm headed for a brawl. I like to get locked up and then bailed out. Can't wait to get a taste and meet my mates at the ale house.
No football thug would listen to that.
The fighting in it
Matt
is
Buckner
decent.
probably would. Though.
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 would be fucking insane to give this film a 7 out of 10, to be honest.
I think you're a bit
between
delirious from Heat.
a 4 and a 5. No, 7 would be mental.
A 4 is mental.
No.
A 4 is mental.
No, I'm not going, oh, what did they intend? Because, well, was it good that they intended that? You know, if I go, oh, we've intended to make the most boring film ever, you don't go, it was boring. Like,
But no, I think
that's not a good thing
I think
to have.
what they had to look. We got. I am real drenched back here.
I think if we did decimal points, I'd say a 4.5 out of 10. I'm going to say a 5 out of 10 for what it.
I'm going to say 6 out of 10.
Okay, well, I'm going to say a 5. And now for the so bad it's good, just unintended enjoyment score.
I'm going to give it, I think, an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. There's some other films that give it more like pure giddiness and amusement.
Yeah, but we've seen this film quite a few times, and I
don't mind watching it again.
What I think this film really has going for it is I think the pacing of the movie is very good, and at no point does it.
It's never boring.
It doesn't give you time to sort of sit with how in what ways it's very shit. It's always giving you something new to digest, so it's really easy watching.
I want to revise my objective score, and I'm going to say a 6 actually for as a movie for what.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like.
Can you admit a 4 is really shit?
Because I think film criticism
crazy.
has become too much about like, is it clever? And like in reality, it's meant to entertain you.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. You're right. It's never boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfectly good movie.
Yep.
Yes, it's dumb, but that doesn't actually stop you having a good time.
No,
if you go to the cinema and see it, you'll have your popcorn.
Thank you.
You'll leave. You won't have been bored because most films are fucking boring.
Like, you can watch this film honestly again and again.
I could watch it tonight. I could quite happily watch it tonight.
There's enough for you to kind of like gorge yourself on in terms of like just enjoyment. There's enough Frodo's beautiful absurd blue eyes, Pete's insane accent. Bother's quite good acting.
It's quite iconic. It's got a mix of lots of different stuff. If it's quite stimulating. If someone came around tonight and was like, God forbid we had any friends, and was like, oh, I've never seen it, I want to watch it, I'd be like, fuck it.
It's a film definitely like honestly.
Bung it on again.
Like, honestly,
you watched it
lads,
last night, but I'll bung it on again.
Film, and if you're just like really bored one day, and you're like, what am I going to watch? You know, sometimes when you get caught in that like maybe like YouTube clips hellhole or like TikTok clips or Instagram clips.
It's again, kids.
So fucking hot, bro. I want to be out of this room so bad. And it literally being like hot boxing.
We've lost our mind on the last 2
sauna.
episodes.
It's literally like a sauna.
This has not been as mental as Skydog, thankfully.
No. But if you're like, oh, I just want to watch something like either with food or just like to get like kind of get sleepy to, or just with your mates.
You've had some really bad news, and you've gone, look, let's order a takeaway pizza and just bung on Green Street.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Absolutely.
So we're both going 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Both going 6 for the what as a film, and 8 because again, there are some films that but it's so rewatchable. You can watch. It's got amazing rewatch value. It's iconic. It's memorable. Fucking do it. Any other notes? No, just Bother was right all along.
Like your head is glistening like a crystal ball right
Charlie Hunnam was actually good, apart from the accent. Jeff Bell, classic me. Yeah. So that's all really. Shout out to Green Street.
Yep.
Iconic movie.
Green Street or Hooligans or Green Street Hooligans.
What the fuck it's called. Forget the sequels. They're a disgrace.
Yeah.
And that's all. All right, chaps. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't leave our men behind.
Why is there a yank rolling with a GSC?